Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. Tonight, I am joined by three brand new guests. I'm here with Vanessa, Sierra, and Goblin, and we are playing a game of Mausritter, which is a, I always forget the taglines of the game, the Swords-and-Whiskers adventure, I believe is the tagline. Which, if you're not familiar with Mausritter, it is a tabletop RPG. All the players are mice, and you can actually see on the overlay the mice, the characters, and you can also see, you might notice a little bit of a similarity in the drawing style between the avatar, Goblin's avatar, and the drawing of the mice, and that's because Goblin Girl Gaming, who is guesting on the stream tonight, drew all of the mice characters, so shout out to Goblin for that. My name is Taylor. I am the dungeon master, game master, kind of the person to blame for a lot of what will happen tonight. Without too much further ado, I'll throw it over to my guests for them to introduce themselves, starting with Vanessa. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. Man, I wish I was last and I'd have like a reference to go off of, but hola! I am Vanessa, aka Galaxy Wander X, here on Twitch. It is lovely to meet everybody who is here. I am a human being. I'm 22. I'm here to have a good time. I hope you're all patient with me. That's all I can think to say right now, but hello.
Thank you. And then next up we have Sierra, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Super Silly Sierra. I'm on Twitch and YouTube, and I do mostly comic reviews and recommendations. New to Twitch and YouTube too, so yeah, just excited to be here.
Yeah, appreciate having you. And then last, but not least, Goblin, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, hi. You can't really see me, but I'm here, I promise. My name is Goblin. I am also a Twitch streamer on here. If you haven't seen my stream, most likely you have seen me in Taylor's chat because I'm always there. Yeah, I'm 24. I'm a student. I've only had a little bit of experience in tabletop RPGs. My biggest experience is I got turned on to Dimension 20 from College Humor. Fantasy High is amazing, don't at me. And yeah, that's me. I'm excited to play.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I just, if you're in the chat, my bot just gave links to all of the Twitch and YouTube channels for our players tonight. So if you enjoy their personalities, enjoy what you see tonight, these are three people definitely to follow. I follow all of them, hang out in their chats when I can. I'm sure anybody who streams knows that it's hard to make it to everybody's chats, but yeah, some friends that I've made while streaming. It's super excited to have you all here. And I have a little bit of business for my stream before we actually get into the role play. So I'll do that really quick. First of all, super exciting news. My emotes are approved. My tier 2 emote is not approved yet, but I do have my tier 1 and my tier 3 emotes, which I just put in the chat. Those were done by my brother Alex, who's been on the stream before. So if you are a subscriber, tier 1, you can use that emote in the chat, in anybody's streams actually. And tier 3 subscribers get the little computer, me at a computer emote. And then also, if you have felicitations, there is a new thing that you can unlock. If you use felicitations, you can unlock a random emote. And since I just have one tier 1 emote, it's not random. It's the "oh yeah" emote. So if you use channel points, you can use that emote while we're playing. So it's a cool milestone for the game tonight. Also, as usual, we have sound alerts. You can use channel points to have different sounds play during the game. There's other things too, so you can have everybody stretch. You can name an NPC if you cash in a bunch of channel points. So you can like let me know a name that you want me to put in the game, as long as I have final approval. If it's something I'm not chill with having on my stream, I'll have you pick a new name. And then also tonight, let me see if I can put this in the chat. I think that's the right command. Yeah. If you want to give the players tonight an extra hand, you can use bits or the PayPal link to tip the players tonight. Between $1 and $5 or 100 and 500 bits. You can pick one player and give them advantage on a roll, which if you're not familiar with tabletop RPGs, it means they get to roll 2 dice and pick the better number. And then if you tip 600 to 1,000 bits or $6 to $10, you can give all 3 of the players advantage on a roll. Completely optional. I totally appreciate having people in chat, having people watch. But it does, it does help me have a little thank you to the people for participating tonight. It's always appreciated, but again, completely not necessary. I also have I'm a little worried that people are contributing to it a lot, but I do have a community challenge right now. You can use channel points to force me to play a scary video game, and wow, we really are getting close to the halfway point. Where I will play a scary video game on stream. So yeah. That's I think all the stuff for my channel. I think if you are watching on desktop, which I know a lot of people watch on mobile, but if you're watching on desktop and you go to the about section, you can see all the different commands that you can give the bot to like answer like common questions, stuff like that. While we're role playing, we can't like verbally interact with the chat a ton. Like I'll do it during breaks and in between scenes and stuff like that. But a lot of the common questions that you might have, the bot has the answers. And you can also spend bits to play other sound alerts. So yeah, I think that's everything new for the stream. And without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and get into the thing that everyone is here for tonight. We're going to start off our game of Mausritter. So it's winter in Cowvington, and although the snow lays thick on the tall dead grass surrounding your hometown, the creatures of Cowvington know how to keep warm and cozy. The guild hall or town hall is fashioned out of the skull of a cow, and it's bustling with activity as the mice prepare for the centennial celebration that is supposed to take place here tomorrow. The hollow eyes of the skull are covered in thick layers of spider web to keep out the elements, and they're aglow with the warmth of the fires inside. It's early afternoon, and the 3 of you are getting ready for the celebration. You are on the planning committee for the festival tomorrow, or festivities tomorrow. And you are waiting at a nearby bar, which is made out of an abandoned clay jug tipped on its side. The entrance is like the mouth of the jug. And you're waiting there for the tax collector of Cowvington, a mouse named Ambrose Longtail. He's supposed to come and bring you the pips, which is the currency for in Mausritter. He's supposed to bring you the pips you need to pay for the food and wine vendors tonight for the celebration tomorrow to be a success. He's about 30 minutes late. The 3 of you are seated around a wooden spool on top of big walnut shells as your seats. And as you're sitting, let's hear a little description of each of your characters. And I'll start in reverse order this time, so I'm not always putting Vanessa immediately on the spot. So this time we'll start with Goblin. Do you want to talk about what Cherry Pipp looks like and what you're doing as you're waiting for the tax collector?
Sure. So Cherry Pipp, she is she's a white flecked, I guess we'll say field mouse. She is, I got so excited and my mind immediately blanked.
Very relatable. That is bound to happen to me multiple times tonight. So
okay, all right. I'm glad I'm not alone. But yeah, Cherry is she was born to a family of carnival workers. She's she's been working with the circus as long as she could stand on her own 2 feet. As such, she's more dexterous. I would imagine that she is kind of like maybe not a trapeze artist, but she's of that ilk. No strongest mouse alive things here. So she's more dexterous than she is strong. Her birth sign is acorn, so she is a little bit more stubborn than most. And what else is there? While we're waiting, I would imagine that she is kind of just like trying to stay limber, like bouncing on her feet, maybe doing like a trick or two that she can do by herself. Just like trying to keep her muscles from freezing up in the cold.
Yes. Yeah. So you're kind of bouncing a little bit. Maybe a little bit of impatience. I mean, this person
absolutely.
You're waiting for is about 30 minutes late, which I think is pushing it for an amount of time to be late without having heard from somebody. Sierra, what do you want to tell us a little bit about Larkspur?
Yeah, so Larkspur is small, blue, patchy fur, has a really stubby tail and a really, really long rat tail braid for his hair. He's a little younger, just getting out of mouse school and all of that, and kind of wants to just travel and start a map, their safest routes for mice and stuff like that. He's a cartographer and stuff. And I imagine right now he's just sitting at the bar trying to think of what good prizes would be for the festivities tomorrow, and probably getting a little impatient with this guy being like, I don't know, it's cold out, so.
Yeah. And then Seam. What are you doing?
Yes, Seam. The gray marbled small mouse with the beetle companion. Seam was probably just chilling, taking in the day, probably enjoying the cold. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's good. I think your beetle companion Chewy, who is I should also say that there are drawings on screen. So on the left hand side is Cherry Pipp, and then Seam is right in the middle, and then on the other end that's Larkspur. So I think your beetle companion's a teensy bit bigger than the drawing, but otherwise kind of a mix between you described a mix between like a cricket and a June bug, so maybe a little bit bigger. And Chewy, I think, kind of is maybe maybe up on the table. I think started out like kind of by your feet, like trying to be a little bit more well behaved, but now is just on the table, kind of chirping at you every so often.
Of waiting.
Yeah, as if to say like, okay, well, let's get this show on the road. But yeah, maybe your companion is showing their irritation a little bit more than you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do you think the three of you are like do you think you're just sitting in silence, like you've run out of things to talk about, or or I know you said Larkspur that you were thinking about games. Are you talking about that to the other mice or anything like that?
Mine's a little more reserved, little mysterious, but might be asking where Cherry Pipp has been and where they think like towns that are safe that are nearby, because again, they got a map that they're trying to fill out.
Yeah, so you have like kind of maybe the map like out on the table a little bit, kind of looking at that. And yeah, Larkspur is asking you, Cherry Pipp, about some nearby towns. I don't want to put you on the spot, but because I know you're not the DM, but you know, if there's anything you have in mind for something that'd be like a cute nearby town, it's canon. Whatever you say is canon in this moment.
Oh God. Oh, so precious. Talk about putting me on the spot.
Yeah, and if you say the wrong thing, it will destroy this. No. No, but if you want to describe like a town or something, or like an experience from, you know, a circus visit recently, that's cool.
I think this actually works because I've been picturing Cherry as like she's good with faces, and as such she's able to like get by. She's real bad with names, like people names, location names, anything. She's just awful at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, oh gosh, I would be talking about probably the last town that we went to, and just talking about like what the I was gonna say exports. That would not be what Cherry Pipp would be talking about.
The imports, the exports.
Oh yeah, just the nitty gritty. She would probably be talking about one of the gathering spots, like outside of where the circus is set up, and just kind of going off on a tangent about what she did there, and just like, oh yeah, and then I saw this bug that I've never seen before, and oh my god, this thing had its antenna. It looked like eyelashes. It was the strangest things. And I was trying to catch it, like trying to talk to it, trying to figure out what its deal was, but it was having none of it, and just going on ad nauseum. And I also wanted to say that Cherry Pipp wouldn't really have taken notice of Chewy until he started chirping. And ever since that happened, she hasn't said anything. It is very clear that she wants to she wants to figure out this thing's deal.
I think when you say the thing about the bug with like the eyelashes, Chewy has been, I think, looking around for something to eat, like kind of nuzzling around the table, and kind of like turns with like some interest as if they've never heard of that type of bug either, and is kind of like, oh, I thought I knew all the bugs around here. But yeah, as you're very excitedly talking about, some things going on in other towns, some things you've seen, you see stumbling through the bottleneck door of the bar, you all recognize Ambrose. He is a very short mouse with an extremely long tail. He's wearing a very fine straw hat that's been dyed red with berries, and his suit is incredible. It's somehow made with like living moss. So he has this like green suit jacket that's just like covered in moss. Very fine apparel. Even from this far away, you can tell that, this is like the afternoon. He is visibly drunk as he walks into the bar. And also he looks like he's been crying. And he kind of blearily is like looking around the bar, and sees the four of you, including Chewy, and kind of stumbles over to the four of you and heaves himself up onto an empty shell and just holds out his little mouse hands, and he says, "I'm dreadfully sorry, but I haven't got your pips. There's no use yelling at me. The mayor already threatened to dock my ears over the whole thing, but there's nothing to be done. The celebration is off." And kind of puts his head down on the table, and you can see his shoulders kind of shaking as he continues to cry.
Oh boy, okay.
Just another Tuesday.
Very casual.
Very casual. So we have to raise the money ourselves then? Or do we have to go on like a treasure hunt maybe?
I just don't
we
see how there would be time. You'd see... Oh, I suppose I owe you an explanation. Okay. So... Cattlethrax, the cat that kind of is in charge of this region, she demands her share of the taxes. And I sent the taxes to her. He kind of like looks around and like gestures over to the bartender for another drink. He says, I sent a rat to deliver her share of the taxes to her, and I just heard this morning that the rat never arrived. And he just continues crying and says, "He must have taken off with the money, I don't know. He came so highly recommended," and he just, the bartender brings over a shot and he just takes the shot, chunk back down on the table. And yeah, it's just desolate.
At the mention of Cattlethrax, I feel like Cherry Pipp wouldn't like reach up to her ear, but she has that tagged, the little divot in her ear. I feel like that ear would start twitching a little bit.
Yeah, I think the three of you would know that cats in this world, in the world of Mausritter, are kind of like warlordy, kind of, or like kings or queens, like royalty, where they kind of lay claim over a certain region, and basically, terrorize the cat, or terrorize the mice and other rodents and smaller creatures, to pledge their fealty, kind of like the crickets in Bug's Life. That's kind of what it's, or the grasshoppers, not crickets. That's kind of the situation. So yeah, Ambrose is whatever money was supposed to be delivered was not, and Cattlethrax, it seems like, is not happy about it, and is taking the money that was supposed to be for the celebration tomorrow.
That's what I do.
Well, it looks like, it looks like the main problem is that we don't have enough pips. We don't have the pips to create the celebration. Oh gosh, if we can't do this celebration with the circus, oh god, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, Ambrose just has his head in his hands, and he says, I mean, I kind of had just given up hope, but I suppose you could try to track down the rat that took the pips if you... I don't know. I wouldn't do something as dangerous as that. I would just cancel the whole centennial.
What's the name of this rat? Let's start with that.
The name of the rat. Oh, the name of the rat. And that's me stalling. I have the name of the rat.
He's drunk. He has to take a moment, right?
He has to take a moment.
He's intoxicated.
Did I not name this rat? What is wrong with me?
Shall we name him now?
Yeah,
He's an enigma.
Okay, so his last name's Enigma, I think. I think his first name is going to be I think a type of cheese. Let's say Parmesan Enigma.
Hell yeah.
This rat's name. I can't believe I didn't name this rat. I did name the rat. It's been Parmesan Enigma the whole time. So he says the rat I hired was named Parmesan Enigma. He came very highly recommended, and he, I mean, you would recognize him if you saw him. He has a big shiny quarter that he uses for a shield. And everyone said, oh, he could make it to Cattlethrax. He'll be able to get there. And even the other mice told me, like, oh, he's trustworthy, but look where we are now. No pips. Just tears.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to find this Parmesan.
Does Chewy have any tracking ability? Can he sniff them out? Do we have a scent to start with, or is that asking too much from a beetle?
I think Chewy kind of like nudges over at I said this before stream. I keep thinking that Seam, I keep connecting it with the name like Seamus or Sean. so I keep almost saying Sheem. But yeah, I think Chewy kind of like looks over at you, Seam, and flaps their wings a little bit, like the little kind of buzzy thing that like June bugs do. And it occurs to you that you do know a nearby, I think actually maybe all three of you would know this. There is a rat like hideout that's not too terribly far from here. And actually I think Cherry, this is kind of interest to you because you have this this dubious map, this dubious treasure map, and there's something on the treasure map. So there's two different ways. You all three would know this because all three of your backgrounds are kind of like you've done some adventuring. You know, you've been in the circus, you've traveled, cartography, you know, fighting and different things like that. So you know, there's basically two ways that you could potentially get to this like rat hangout. One of which would be if you leave Cowvington, there's like kind of a main path that on the way to like someplace else to another town. The rat hideout is kind of off to the side. That would take a while to go that way, partially because it's so cold out. It's like snowy, the roads are not great. So in Mausritter, there's a couple different like measures of time. Excuse me. So you know it would take you basically a full watch, which is like about 6 hours to go that way, just because of the road conditions and everything like that. But it would be relatively safe, apart from the weather conditions. Cherry, you know of this area that maybe you've been meaning to explore while you've been in Cowvington. There's a rat tunnel that goes from a little bit outside of Cowvington, and you are pretty sure it goes straight to this rat hideout. It's a quicker route because it's directly there. It's underground, so there's not like weather conditions to worry about, but there's lots of rats there, and you know it's kind of a little more dangerous to go that way, but it would also be a lot faster. It'd probably only be a couple hours to go that way.
Okay. I feel like this might have even been before we started role-playing, but just like at the most or inopportune moment, Cherry had pulled out the map and like slapped it down on the table. Drinks go flying, all the good stuff.
As soon as you hear the rat hangout or rat hideout, slam. Yeah.
I know just the place.
And I'm kind of picturing, I'm not entirely sure how this would work mechanically, but I'm kind of picturing that Cherry has highlighted the little rat trail and like put little stars around it. And it's like secret tunnel.
Yeah. There's also like a notation on your map that there's like maybe something of interest there, like some sort of treasure or something that's like marked on your map that like this tunnel might be like you know, it's marked as being dangerous, but also marked as maybe there's some, you know, some interesting stuff there.
Okay. Then I have it littered with like stars and question marks and like skulls and a question mark.
Nice.
Yeah. Cherry like slams this paper down on the table. I think Ambrose stumbles backwards, like completely rolls like Charlie Brown style, just rolls backward out of his seat as you do that. Seam and Larkspur, what do you think your reaction to this is, to this map being slammed on the table?
I have a compass, so I'm ready to roll. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I think Seam is just like, "Hey Chewy, do you think you're up for an adventure?"
Chewy has had to jump out of the way of almost getting, you know,
map
smashed by this map. So is kind of like shaking themselves off a little bit, like again the wings kind of like kind of doing that thing. And when you say that, Chewy looks at you, and you've been friends with Chewy for a while now, and you can see their kind of like a glint of determination in their eye, and they just give a very like stern little like nod at you.
That's my boy Chewy. Let's go.
Cool. Yeah. So you all set out for this the secret tunnel, as the chat is calling out. I'll also say, since we're doing a little bit of a scene, we're getting compliments on the mouse voices, getting compliments on Parmesan Enigma.
As we should.
Yeah. And of course,
where's the Parmesan merch?
Yeah. That's what I'll have to design, some Parmesan Enigma merch. So yeah, you head to these rat burrows. So you know in advance. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some mechanics just as a refresher for all of us, and then also for the chat for people who haven't played this game before. So I mentioned already that time is broken down a little bit differently in this game than like if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. So when you are exploring in like a dungeon or like a location, like this tunnel would be considered kind of a location, you take the amount of time is tracked in turns, and then each turn takes about 10 minutes, is about enough time for the party, for all three mice to do like one major thing. So it's like, you know, taking a short rest, searching the room, that kind of thing. And then I also will be rolling things during certain turns to see if you like come across, like, do you come across creatures? Do you come across like something that's kind of shaking up your planes a little bit? Rats are not necessarily like, and this is something all of you would know just living in this world. Rats are not necessarily like always going to be like, it's not like they're predators to you, but they're not always like super friendly. So sometimes, you know, like Ambrose thinks this rat like took all the money from like the pips, like, or took all the pips that he was supposed to deliver. Sometimes rats will like, you know, they'll be kind of like bounty hunters, so maybe they'll like capture a mouse and deliver them to like to the cat lord or to other rats, things like that. So rats, you probably sneaking into this rat tunnel, you would all know you don't necessarily want to run into some rats. Is there anything that any of you are doing to get ready for your little adventure before you head into the tunnels?
I feel like Cherry Pipp would run back to her family and just like make sure that they know where she's going and that she'll be back as soon as possible. And she'll definitely be back in time for her performance.
Yeah. The other two of you, anything that you're doing real quick before you head into the tunnels?
I think that Seam is, you know, going back to their tiny little hole in the wall home and just gathering any supplies that, you know, she would carry, probably putting little booties on Chewy so that his little feet don't get too dirty.
Yeah.
Does he do that thing that where you
the
put
like
booties on a dog?
absolutely.
Exactly.
At least for the first like couple minutes before getting used to it.
Or like the kitten mittens from It's Always Sunny, where the cat's just like going like this. Yeah, you can get your torches. And what do you think do you have an idea of like what your house like looks like? Like, is it inside like a certain type of like container, or is it like more natural looking, or anything like that?
I like to think it's literally a hole, like in tree, like a tiny little like burrowed little hole.
Yeah.
Probably just like secondhand, like furnishings, like an old little, like, I don't know, like little pincushion that she uses as a bed and stuff like that, you know?
I love it.
Little old rug, probably frayed at the edges.
Very cute. Yes, one of the things I think is super fun about this game is like that kind of stuff, like coming up with like, what would a mouse have in their house? It's very very fun. Yeah, what about you, Larkspur? What do you think you're doing before the adventure?
Excuse me, sorry. Probably just resting up, getting hydrated, you know, getting the rations together, making sure they have everything. And And as far as like homes go, for like stopping off before we go on the adventure, mine probably has like a hammock that's made out of spider webs that they just like put up whenever they can, and like
Perfect.
probably sleep outside as much as possible because that's what they're used to.
Very cute. Yeah, Goblin, what do you think your setup is? Or I should say, Cherry, what do you think your setup is like?
So, I feel like it'd be remiss if I'm talking about like my home. It'd be remiss for me to not mention just what the circus looks like.
Yeah, go
And
for
right
it.
now, what I'm picturing, like I'm picturing that they had repurposed one of those like reusable napkins, like the fabric ones that you toss in the laundry once it's been used, and it's getting a little frayed at the edges, so there's been some patching done. And I guess just the house or what she calls home is just an extension off of that. I don't know where they're getting these reusable napkins. There must be like there's a co-op somewhere nearby. But they've just kind of built out this thing. It's something that's built to be taken down and put back up very quickly, like kind of like a regular circus. And oh gosh, let me think. I feel like Cherry Pipp's like own room, like her little nook, it's very tiny. I imagine that she's coming from a big family. Like most of the people who she works with in the circus are like somehow related to her, whether it's like brother, sister, far-flung cousin, or it's very like the family circus.
Do you mean the cartoon? The cartoon family circus? There's little dots behind you everywhere you run.
That's a passive form of income. They're making these guys.
Nice.
Oh, it's like a reverse Jijinkas in this world. It's what would my human look like?
Oh my god, I love that. My human Sona is the comic family circus.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, Cherry Pipp's house is or not house. Her like corner of the tent is very like pushed off to the side. She's pretty easygoing when it comes to like her physical space. She can be stubborn, but she's pretty easygoing with like as long as she has a place to lay her head down, and she's good. And she doesn't really have too many personal affects, aside from the dubious treasure map. She's used to her physical location changing a lot, and the one constant is just being around her family and just hanging out with her family, and that's her home.
Yeah. This is also a good chance to I'll start with Seam, because I don't think we've really talked about like the kind of like inventory or like items that you all have. So like your weapons, that kind of stuff. What does Seam have on her?
Well, it's usual, like torches, rations. I have a fish hook and a spool, which is very fun, and obviously Chewy. So yes, we like to. I'd like to imagine the fish hook and spool is very much like a what's the word I'm looking for? A grappling hook situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be very fun.
Yeah.
I wonder how Chewy gets along with that. Does Chewy fly? Is the question.
I think Chewy can. I think Chewy can fly. I think if Chewy's part June bug, Chewy can fly. And you have a weapon too, right? You have like
I have a heavy ranged bow and arrow.
Yes. So you're getting your bow and arrow packed up just in case you
Slung
run
on my
into
back,
treasure.
fill in my quiver.
Yeah. Cool. And then I think Larkspur, you have your compass, I think you mentioned, but what else do you have on you?
Well, the compass goes with ink and quill for all the mapping and whatnot. And then Goblin actually drew, which was kind of perfect because I had a problem figuring out what weapon I wanted anyways. But she drew a button shield and a needle for a sword, which is like, I'd say like light
So cute.
stuff. Yeah, it worked out perfectly, honestly, and was better what could come up with. So
Yeah, so you've got a little like sewing needle for a sword. And then Goblin, I know did you mention what items you have your map? I don't think you
I have my
mentioned
dubious treasure map.
a weapon or anything like that.
I actually am just realizing that I did not put myself or give myself a weapon.
Well, I'll narrate some stuff and you can really quick pick a weapon. I think it is on it's on.
I know you sent it to me on Discord, so I can look at that.
Yeah. Your choices. So you can basically it just changes the amount of damage that you can do. So for example, like the heavy ranged bow and arrow that Seam has does a D8 of damage. So in this game, unlike D&D, you don't have to roll to hit. If you make an attack, it's just kind of assumed you'll hit. And you roll different amounts of damage. So like the heavy range you have to use both paws for, and it does more damage. The needle as a sword is considered a light weapon, so you can just wield it in one hand, and it does a d6 of damage. And yeah, so then there's some other stuff on there too. There's heavy weapons that you have to use both paws for. Medium weapons you can choose whether you want to use both one or two-handed, and then there's also a light ranged, like a sling, like stone and sling.
Okay.
So I'll give you time. I'll give you time to look at that. I'm very excited. The chat is excited about the grappling hook. And also I do feel like I have to read this. Tag the Bard said, "My human Sona is Jeffy from Family Circus." Which is just very, very fun. So yeah, you head into this this rat warren kind of with your everything packed up. You all have little bags. You have your weapons stashed away. You're ready and raring to go. What do you think? How do you think you were feeling? Like Seam and Larkspur especially, because I think Cherry kind of seems like she's always just like raring and ready to go. What do you think what's going through kind of your heads as you're getting into like maybe kind of a little dangerous situation?
Well, my Larkspur actually lost his tail to a snake, so he's a little nervous. You know, he's been hurt out in the wild, but older now, feeling a little more confident, but excited.
Yeah, trepidatious but excited. What about Seam?
I think Seam is very excited to be of use and to be helpful, but is nervous because she hasn't very much explored the the world that they live in necessarily, like to an extent as the others, I like to believe. But always very happy to try to get things fixed and righted for an event that she was very much looking forward to.
Yeah. Seam, you were supposed to be in charge of like the decorations, right?
Decorations.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and start marking turns. And basically the way the game goes. So unlike, I'm gonna compare this to D&D a lot because that's what I think most people, if they've played a tabletop game, have played D&D. And this game has some similarities. It's based off of a different game that I have not played. So if you've played that game, it's pretty much the same as that. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But as I mentioned, every turn takes about 10 minutes. And different things happen during that time. So like I'll roll for encounters and stuff like that. And then also every turn, I think you all have torches. And at least one of you, I think, pretty quickly will realize once you start to get into this tunnel that you are going to need those torches because the tunnel is not already lit up. It's pretty dark and dank and like kind of scary. It's not too crowded because rats are considerably bigger than mice. So like it's made for rats. So it's a nice big tunnel, but it's very dark, cold. You can feel like the cold air kind of blowing out of it, you know, like a basement or a cellar or something like that. And like I said, it's a little bit outside of town, so you're able to make your way through the tall grass that's kind of around Cowvington is like this tall, like very straw-like dead grass because it's winter. And the snow is kind of laying on top of it, so it's even kind of dark going to the tunnel, just because you're kind of walking underneath this like layer of snow above you, if that makes sense. So yeah, you get to the tunnel, and I'll go ahead and mark a turn for like the first little while of walking in. Do you want to decide who is using a torch, or if multiple of you are?
I feel like one of us should, just to conserve torches. I feel like that'd be the smartest move. I can start using one of mine, if no one else wants to volunteer theirs.
Yes. So I'll go ahead and tell you, Goblin, when you need to mark off a use on your torch. Cool. But it's a certain number of turns before you mark off usage. I'm trying to figure out how.
I think it says every 6 turns.
Yes.
You mark a usage.
Every 6 turns, yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm so sorry. I'm looking in my inventory, and when I rolled for my background, it said that I had a lantern.
Oh,
I don't know if that changes.
It does.
Okay.
Lanterns, I believe, last longer. Torture lantern. Hang on, let me look that up. That is good to know.
Yeah, the things that I have in my inventory are I have a lantern, I have a tent, which I'll literally say we like cut off of the already existing circus tents.
Yeah.
It's like one of those tiny ones. They like can only fit one person. And then
yeah, keep going.
Hey, listen!
Oh, I'm getting a notification of something. Oh, my mom has donated $10. So all of you, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you so much,
thank
Mom.
you.
So what that means for all of you is that you can go ahead and just write somewhere on your sheet that you can choose to have advantage on a roll, which means that at some point I'll have you roll dice, and you can choose to roll 2 dice, and then in this game you'll take the lower number because you want to be rolling below whatever your associated skill is. So thank you so much to Nisi for the $10.
Thank you, Nisi.
And yeah, so the lantern torches, once you use all the uses, they're consumed. I imagine they are like matchsticks or sparklers or something like that, like a little piece of something. Yeah.
Just
a lantern, you can refill them, so they have to be refilled by oil, but they're not completely like done for, but the usage mark is the same. So if you want to start off with using your lantern, I'll put an L in the turn tracker.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
If you want to, you can use a torch if you'd prefer to use a torch.
Yeah, let's use my lantern.
Okay.
Might as well.
Cool. So yeah, what you light your little lantern. I imagine it's like made out of like a hollowed out, you know, like tiny little like light bulbs. Like that's the glass of it is like a little light bulb, but instead of being like, you know, battery operated, there's like a little wick and some oil inside it. So you light that lantern or holding it up, and you make your way into the tunnel. And I think you, unless there's something that you like want to be doing like on the walk, you are walking for about I think about 30 minutes, and I'm going to roll to see if anything interesting happens.
Oh, before you do, should I mention my weapon? I just flipped through when I was... Okay.
Go for it.
So, I think I would go for also a light ranged one. What I'm picturing is, like, a very crudely fashioned slingshot. And the reason why is because since she's grown up with her circus, shenaniganery will ensue. And they're with little siblings, they are always trying to get on each other's nerves. So that was her weapon of choice, to be like kind of slingshot, to like, hey, knock it off.
To use on your family. Here's a slingshot your family.
Oh,
That's great.
yeah, I feel like when she goes back to her spot in the circus, she like kind of pours over, or she glances at it, and then she picks it up and it's like, just for safekeeping. Just to make sure my sister doesn't get it while I'm gone.
Yeah. Vanessa, you might need to turn your camera off and on because I think it's frozen, I believe. So you might need to turn your camera off and on. And I think you're still here. I hope you can hear me. I can't tell if she can or not.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yes. I could not
Okay,
before.
so I think my Zoom is trying to crash.
Oh no. If you want to, you can close out of the call and join again. I'll let you back in.
Alright.
The cameras will go wonky for a second on the overlay, but that's fine. I'm telling
I'm so sorry.
No, that's cool.
Please
It
forgive me.
happens almost every time I stream.
Yeah, it's technical difficulties.
Yeah.
All right. Leaving right now.
Okay.
If it'll let me. Oh my god.
It really is
Between-
crashing.
Between Vanessa's screen being frozen and the Goblin's screen being blacked out, I don't know who's actually here or not. It's a mystery.
Yeah. I can't even turn off your video. It's not letting me do anything.
Oh my gosh.
It's rebelling. Zoom is rebelling. Yeah, while you're working that out, let me go ahead and say, you're kind of okay. I think it says admit, so she should be rejoining. Okay, now it has. Okay, so now there's another. She's here twice. Okay, the other one went
Okay,
away.
there it goes.
Okay, I just need to move her camera back and move mine here. And
Zoom is not feeling it tonight.
I guess not. Normally Zoom is a lot better for me than Discord, but that's the curse of our modern times. Okay, so everyone's cameras at least should be kind of back where they're supposed to be. Let me rename. And it says she's connected to audio. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We're trying to summon Vanessa.
Summon me.
We're all sitting. I have my candles
Light a
lit.
candle. Yes.
I think that's like the third time on my stream that there has been some sort of reference to a seance or some sort of summoning.
Yes.
It's common. Okay, cool. Your camera's back on.
Okay.
We're good.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I am just very happy that I'm not dropping 75% of my frames. So we're good. Yeah, so Goblin, you were talking about Cherry's sling that you used to keep your siblings in place.
Oh.
See, that's what she thinks it is. She is very much the youngest sibling, so that it's just to annoy the older sibling.
Yeah, so that's the weapon you're bringing for the adventure. It's serious enough.
Yes.
That it's serious enough that it could seriously hurt someone.
Of course. They're siblings. I feel like that's very par for the course.
You're not using your full power when you use it on your siblings.
Exactly.
This isn't even my final form.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the first room that you come to after traveling for about half an hour. So you're in this tunnel. And there's a couple times when you see kind of rooms or like partially burrowed out areas kind of leading off to it, but it seems like this is kind of the main tunnel. And, you know, two of you have maps, so whether that's up to you if you want to be, like, stopping to, like, make notations of all of this, you know, that's kind of, you know, up to you. You're not really on too much of a time schedule now that you're taking this kind of shorter route. And
I feel like since my treasure map is dubious, I've been picturing it as like hand drawn, so I don't know how helpful it would be to annotate mine.
Yeah, does Larkspur have like your
Writing on writing.
cartography equipment out?
Yeah, it's just a little quill and like ink thing. It's not like a huge map or anything. He's just taking notes along the way.
Yeah.
When they settle down, as he pulls out the full map and like adds all the details, but try not to hold anyone or slow us down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're making your way, I think, a little bit slowly because you're being very cautious. And the first thing that's really of note that happens, like I said, about a half an hour in, the burrow kind of very slowly opens up into like a room. And it's like this big empty room. The walls are kind of covered in newspaper, like serving as wallpaper. I think now canonically one of the things on the newspaper has to be Family Circus.
Yes.
So you see, you know, Jeffy on the wall in this room. The furniture in this room is made out of repurposed trash, like plastic bottle caps. There's also a light in the ceiling that's turned off right now. But you can tell that there's like some sort of light fixture in the ceiling. Yeah, there's also a door. So up until now, it's kind of just been like, this is a tunnel, you're going through a tunnel. It opens up into a room, and there is a door at the other side of the room.
Okay. Do we want to like kind of explore this room? This is just the first one that we've come across. So I don't know if we want to spend a lot of time digging through it.
Does your map show any other passageways? Because mine's new. I don't have very much information on this hideout. I think it was mostly the treasure map we were going off of.
I feel like every time the treasure map is mentioned, Cherry just kind of gets this gleam in her eye and like whips it out and slams it down on any flat surface.
As she should.
And so should I roll to see if there's any kind of indication that this room is of note?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. We haven't really rolled anything yet, so this is a good time. I think this would be you're rolling against your will. So go ahead and roll a d20, and you want to roll under a 10. I think it's a 9 or less will be a success.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, that is that is a 2.
Cool, that's good.
All right. I felt my stomach drop. It's like, oh god, it's a natural 2.
It's hard to forget that you want lower numbers, so 2 is good. Yeah, you kind of are. So you know, there's a table. What should this table be made out of? This table is made out of the little tables that are in like a pizza box. I think you go over to that table and knock the stuff off of it, and then of course knock the entire table over because it's small and the legs are flimsy. So
I don't think she even takes the consideration to knock things out of the way before she slams it down.
You slam it down, the table falls over. You put it back together. I mean, not together, but you turn it the right way up. And yeah, I think what you see on your map, it doesn't seem like there's another way around. Like the map kind of just has like a general thing of like, this is the rat warren and it comes out at this place. It doesn't have like, some of the rooms and stuff have not been on it, so you don't see anything like that. You do see that a little bit up ahead is where the marking that there's like something interesting, like some sort of treasure or something like that on the map. But I think with a success, it seems like if there are other ways around, they're maybe not necessarily noteworthy, maybe they're unfinished, maybe they branch off into something that's not the destination you're trying to get to. Seems like this is the main way to go. So that's what you see when you look at your map.
Okay. And then did it say that that there was something of note ahead, or that there was something of note in the room?
Something of note ahead. So
Gotcha.
I think there's like a little, it's a dubious map, so it almost looks just like an ink blot. You know, like,
Okay.
But now that you're kind of looking at it a little bit closely, and you have a cartographer with you, so you look at it kind of a little bit closely, and it's like, oh, maybe this is the room now, because it's a little bit bigger than, like, the rest of the tunnel, and there's something a little bit ahead. There's, like, a note.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna take any, like, drastic actions, but I feel like Cherry would be much more excited about the thing of note in the next or up ahead than anything that we could find in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's not gonna be like rushing out the door or anything, but she's like, if we decide to stay and kind of explore, then she's gonna be kind of like, again, bouncing on her feet. Like, come on, there's so much more, and there's so much more exciting stuff ahead, you guys. Come on, like very much the youngest sibling.
Larkspur, I think maybe
Come
this
on,
is
guys, let's go.
your first chance to get a real good look at the map. What do you think Larkspur is thinking about this very dubious map that you're seeing on the table?
I mean, it looks old. It looks like it's been a few generations that it's been around. The ink blot could be maybe a little gem, maybe it's a little stone, or maybe it looks kind of like a skull. Could also just be an ink blot.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning more towards a gem than anything else. So it could be treasure. Feels like treasure.
Yeah. Do you think
I
Larkspur
feel like at the mention of treasure,
Yeah.
like you see Cherry get like visibly more excited.
Oh.
Chewy, I think, is like rooting around through, like, this room is filled with a lot of things. So like I said, like some kind of repurposed trash, and then also I think just some like rat trash.
Rat trash.
Yeah. And Chewy is kind of like, I think buzzes up to, it looks like there's like a big like button, like not button like on your clothes, but like a contraption button. I don't know. A button that you would push and something would happen. Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, and I think Chewy is kind of chirping at you, Seam, and kind of buzzing around this little button on the wall.
So what do you found here, Chewy? What is this? What's your problem? What do you want? Definitely. I think Seam is definitely a little on edge about, like being in confined spaces and the idea of being in a confined space.
Yeah.
So she's a little bit like, what the hell, So she I'm gonna choose to go investigate this magic button and see what the heck is going on with this damn beetle.
Yeah, you go over and look, and I'll say, yeah, let's all get in on the rolling. This isn't exactly how the game works, but I always kind of break rules in one shots.
They're meant to be broken. That's okay.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and roll a d20, and you want to get lower than your will number, which actually I don't have yours. I don't have Larkspur's and Seam's written down.
Oh,
My will is a 9.
Oh, okay.
nice.
So you want to get 9 or lower on a d20.
All right. We got a 9.
Nice.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Just under the wire. So you kind of go over to look, and one of like the themes of the game is that mice are like pretty cautious. You know that you're small, you know that you're vulnerable. There's multiple of you have mentioned having run-ins with like bigger, more dangerous creatures. So Seam, you're kind of on edge a little bit. You go over to see what Chewy's doing. And you can see this button. There's like some copper wire that goes up from the button, like on the wall, like under the wallpaper. You can kind of see where the like wrinkle is. And you follow that up, and then you see it come out the top and goes into the light fixture on top. And Chewy is just kind of excitedly like doing little cricket chirps and buzzing his wings.
All right, Chewy, you want this pressed? We'll press it. I bash my tiny little fist into the button.
Yeah, you bash your fist into the button. The other two are looking at the dubious map, trying to figure out what the different blotches mean. And the map becomes a little bit clearer as this light above you turns on and begins to slowly rotate, and it looks like it's some kind of like rigged up like disco ball almost looking light. Like there's crinkly little like foil from like candy wrappers and that kind of thing that they've kind of fashioned into this light. So it becomes brighter in this room, but also a little bit more exciting as this light.
Okay.
Well, that's what that does.
Seems these rats know how to have a good time.
So are we ready to go, guys? Are we? I've got this map. I got the plan. We got this. Cherry is very much a one-track mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys? You want to go into the next area?
Is there anything else in the room that we can look at? Is there
Yeah, you can take some
a cabinet or anything? Or sorry.
No, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. You're just asking about like a cabinet or anything to look through.
Yeah, if there's anything else in the room that we can analyze or
Yeah, you can, if you want to take time to like investigate, I would say that would take a turn. And you wouldn't have to use your lantern since there's, like a light on now. So if you want to conserve your lamp light, that's cool. But yeah, there's definitely stuff around here to look at. I mean, this room is kind of full to bursting. I think there is a cupboard, and it's like a dollhouse like cupboard. That's like to one side of the wall. There's other tables. There's like kind of, I think now you can see like some of the piles are like kind of organized piles, there's a little doormat, by the door, into like the next area. So yeah, if you all want to take time to look around before you move on, you can absolutely do that.
I don't like making decisions. Seam is very much a follower.
Yeah. It seems like I don't hear disagreement. So speak now or forever hold your peace.
I feel like I've been saying Cherry kind of wants to get to move on, but if she's outvoted, then she'll do the sibling
out in the
thing,
corner.
Sulk and like.
Seam is the deciding vote, I think, if we're waiting for a consensus, which is often the uncomfortable position that followers are sometimes put in. That you're the last
It kind of
one.
looks like there could be some neat stuff in here. Why don't we look around for a minute?
Cool. So yeah, you cast the deciding vote, and you spend a turn looking around, and you do find, I think you find one thing of rations, like total. You're able to scrape together. There's some different like snacks and stuff around, and then you also find, as you're kind of looking around, I think Cherry is probably looking around by the door because that's where you want to go.
Very on brand.
Yeah. And you try the door and it's locked, which is notable. So then I think as you're looking around, then so you're kind of looking around by the door. You try it. Seam, you find in one of the cupboard drawers kind of like far under, not like a hidden compartment, but like taped maybe to like the top part of the drawer. You reach your paw in because you're like, if I'm going to be looking for something, I'm going to be very thorough. And you feel a little key fall into your hand.
Gasp. Hey guys, look what I found. Very excited, presenting this key.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh, isn't that like super lucky? Because it turns out the we couldn't go anyway because the door is locked. I guess it was a good idea to go and search.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what you find when you're looking around. Let me mark off that in turn. But yeah, I'm assuming you try Seam, you're gonna try the key in the door.
get the key, insert it, twist. Making noises the whole time.
The door
He's a weak
pops.
creature.
The door, I think you get some help from Chewy. He kind of like flies over and like and then
nudges
Chewy
the arm.
just
That's so cute.
flying up against the other side. It clicks into place. Yeah, the door opens to another hallway, so similar to the ones that you've seen before. And I think Cherry, go ahead and give me a will save. So that's a
Will
roll a D20.
save, okay.
They're all called saves, so
Oh, okay, gotcha.
don't be too worried.
I was just gonna ask, like, do I have to do something different? But,
No,
okay.
no, they're just all called saves in this game.
All right. That is a 9.
Nice. You are very like excited about like, okay, what's coming next? And you see, another one of these little rooms up ahead, and this one's dark. You do have your lantern though. And the will save, I think, is mostly just to, mice are a little bit freaked out, but you're like, this is kind of where in the map this thing is. I'm going to look in this room, even though it's kind of dangerous. So you run up ahead a little bit and poke your head in this room. And as you put your, lantern in, the room is pretty empty. It's got these packed dirt walls. And it looks like it's like partially excavated. And you see like a kind of like, in one of the parts where it's partially excavated, you see like almost like a rock, kind of like poking out. Only really noticeable because you're specifically like looking for something. You have this map. So yeah, you see this kind of a little bit catches your attention. This rock kind of poking out of the excavated walls.
Okay. Does it look like I can interact with it at all?
Yeah, you could go up and interact with it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go and just try and see what this rock's deal is.
Yeah. So are you just like looking at it? Are you like trying to like dig it out more? Like what exactly are you doing?
I guess I don't know if I would be able to roll for this, but I guess just like, is it like a lever in there, or is it just like a rock that's stuck in the wall?
Yeah, I don't even think you need to roll for it. So the other two of you see, which is maybe a little bit of a problem, Cherry runs ahead with the lantern and like kind of gets a little bit further down the hallway. Turns, I think it's like the like Breakfast Club, like skidding to a stop, like, and then all of a sudden like darts into this dark room. You immediately can't see as well because the lantern is in another room. Cherry, you go up and kind of look at this rock. It's not a lever. It looks like something that was buried, that has been partially uncovered. And it looks like now that you're closer, it looks like a tablet maybe, small enough for like a mouse or rat or some type of rodent to be like interacting with. Like you could hold it in your paws.
Oh, okay. Does it look like if I try to dislodge it, like it would mess with the structure of the room?
No, it's not like big strut or anything like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna try and dig it out.
Yeah, you kind of dig it out. The other two of you, what are you doing as Cherry has run ahead?
Trying to
think-
find somebody to grab onto because
I was
it's so
gonna
dark.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I
just
think
the
Seam is,
epitome of
looking
youngest
at
sibling
it.
vibes.
Yeah, yeah. Steam is doing
Yeah.
what?
I think Chewy is totally fine because Chewy doesn't care, right? So
Yeah.
Seam is like, why don't you care? I'm scared. And definitely like maybe trying to find I'm probably I can't Larkspurs. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Larkspurs like rat tail, like just like closing eyes, not wanting to see anything scary, like,
Yeah, Chewy, I think
but
you...
refusing to admit to it out loud of being afraid. Just
Yeah.
Just grabbing onto each other.
Yeah, I think Chewy, both of you actually go ahead and make me, I think this would be a will save. So both of you go ahead and roll a d20, and you want to get at or below whatever your will number is.
Ooh, my will's at 2, so
Oh no!
this is gonna be interesting. 11. Nope.
Oh no!
I got a 2.
Okay.
I'll trade you. Can we? No.
You can, if you want to, you have a use of advantage. So if you want to roll again to try to get a 2, or you can save that for later. It's
Let's save
totally
it.
up to
We're just getting started. I'm gonna.
yeah.
We'll see.
So I think that for Larkspur, go ahead and so there's like conditions in this game. Go ahead and roll or add the frightened condition to one of your inventory slots.
Alrighty.
So this one's a pretty easy one to clear. Each of these conditions has like clear like ways that you can clear it. So if you take a short rest, this will go away. But as for right now, you're like freaked out by the dark. So if you want to move any further towards where Cherry is, as long as it's dark, you'll have to make another will save. So you'll have to at some point.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be the longest tunnel.
So yeah, you like Seam like reaches out and grabs your rat tail, and I think it like kind of startles you.
Yeah, I'm even more freaked out.
Yeah. Seam, you're not mechanically, you don't have like the frightened condition. You can still of course feel frightened, but it's not like, you know, imposing anything on you.
Paralyzing.
Yeah. You hear Chewy was like kind of flying ahead, like kind of buzzing around. You don't hear him flying anymore. You kind of hear him like he's landed somewhere. And you kind of reach your other hand out, and you can feel that he's like on the wall, like walking sideways on the wall next to you and kind of chirping at you to try to show you where to go.
I imagine that Seam puts one hand on Chewy's back and the other one just dragging Larkspur by the rat tail to safety.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's roll a contested strength check. So if you're trying to drag Larkspur along with you to make sure that he's, you know, facing his fears, both of you roll strength. And whoever rolls lower will succeed.
Okay. A D20?
Yes, a d20. Yep.
And you said both of us?
Yes, both of you.
Okay. 5.
I got an 8.
Oh no! You're trying to pull. Larkspur, what are you doing to keep from being pulled in your fear?
Probably just grasping at like anything they can in front of them, which they
Like,
can't
who's
see,
dragging
so they're
me?
just grasping at air wildly.
Yeah. You plant your feet and are just kind of like reaching around and you can't see. As this chaos is happening, your rat tail is being pulled by something you also can't see.
Right.
Just
Maybe a few yelps here and there, just...
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Is Seam saying anything as she's pulling Larkspur?
I think just like, what are you doing?
Why are
Like,
you
let's go,
fighting
come
me?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while that's happening, you can kind of hear it out in the hallway. Cherry, you kind of are in your excitement scraping at the wall, and you pretty easily dislodge this tablet that you can hold. Like I said, it's probably, I mean, for a mouse, it's probably like about this big. So you hold it in both hands, and you can tell this is a piece of magic. It's written in like it's mouse magic, so you can understand what it does. You know that it's a spell that it says the word light on it. And you know that you can use this to stun enemies if you need to, or you can use it to create bright light.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it seems like this little your treasure map was leading you, or at least had a note leading you to this little piece of buried treasure.
Okay. Just gonna add that to my inventory real quick.
Yeah. And I am going to roll something to see if this commotion outside
Oh boy.
draws any attention.
Oh no.
Yeah, Cherry, you hear your two actually your three companions, because Chewy is buzzing his wings and making little distressed chirps as you hear a struggle outside.
Okay. Do I hear just like anything either behind us or in front of us reacting to it? Would I be able to pick that up?
Yeah, you I think you would. So the way the game kind of is supposed to work is that, like, if it's possible for you to hear something or see something, you just do. So I'm not gonna make you roll anything. You hear your friends, you don't hear anything else. But you do know that, like, this amount of, like, noise outside could draw something's attention, even if it hasn't yet.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, I'd like stow my little tablet, I guess, somewhere on me. And I'd kind of rush back out and just, again, full on youngest sibling energy, just completely obstinate, does not pick up on any of the clues on what's going on. It's like, guys, what are you doing? We're in this rat tunnel. They're just, come on, guys, you gotta pull yourselves together.
See, all I heard was running, so I freaked out even more because now something's coming at us.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Cherry does have the lantern too. So as soon as she comes into the hallway, you do see the light. You mechanically you still have the frightened condition, so if it gets dark again, you're gonna have to be rolling some saves.
That's fine.
But for right now, it's lit up. The hallway lights up with this lantern light. Seam, you have a rat tail in one hand, your other hand on Chewy. Larkspur, you're facing the other direction, and you, like, look over your
Flailing.
shoulder and see the creature that has grabbed your hair.
Oh yes.
Slowly coming back.
just Seam just releasing the rat tail, pretending everything was cool, that they weren't panicked.
We're not gonna mention it. We're
Runs
not gonna
ahead.
bring it up.
Didn't happen. But stays in the tunnel.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. During all this, I feel like Cherry would still be going like,
Come on, guys, haven't you ever been in a rat territory before? Like, you gotta be quiet. You gotta keep to yourselves. You can't really Come on, guys.
oh.
I'll give the two of you a sec. I was waiting for one of you to rebut that someone just ran off with the lantern, but yeah, I think you're able to all compose yourselves a little bit more. You travel a little bit further down the path. Let me mark off another turn. And just do something. You come to, up ahead, the hallway that you're in kind of, or I should say tunnel, it's not really like a hallway, widens a little bit. And I think Chewy just kind of continues flying, just bzzz, like over this area of hallway. But actually, everybody roll a d20 to see whoever rolls the lowest, you'll be the one who notices this first. So it's not like you're gonna miss something if you roll high. 4.
8.
And I also got a 4.
So I think Cherry and Larkspur, Seam, you're maybe focused on Chewy, so you're kind of just, like walking a little bit.
Wondering why I put boots on Chewy if he just flies everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. The other two of you notice the floor up ahead is covered with some sort of paper. And as you get a little bit closer and the lantern illuminates it, you recognize this as a sticky trap. So if you were to step on this, that would be very, very bad for you. But it covers it covers the entire span of the hallway.
I think this would be a great time for a grappling hook. Maybe.
I was gonna say, I think Seam looks around on the top of the tunnel to see if there's anything that we can swing and hook on.
Yeah.
Should I roll?
No, I don't think you need to roll, because something like that, it's kind of like if it can happen, it happens. I think especially with Chewy, can help you, so like kind of carry the.
That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, so Chewy can help you out, and I think you are able to find like some sort of purchase where like you can, maybe there's I actually just thought of the perfect thing. You can see up above there's a little like tree root that's kind of coming through like the top of the ceiling. So yeah, you can with Chewy's help, he can kind of carry the fish hook part. And fly up and hook it for you.
All right.
Yeah, and you have
Chewy, you know what to do. And I just take my little hook out and I'm like, here you go, boy.
Yeah.
Get it done.
He grabs it with his little insect hands and flies up, gets it, hooked up there. I will say if all three of you want to use the grappling hook, you'll probably have to mark 3 uses of it. But you could also, one of you could go over and look around to see if you'll have to do that, because that's probably going to be all the uses for that grappling hook if you do it that way.
Cries.
If we don't want to, I have a pretty high dex, so I potentially I don't know if dex would be the roll.
Yeah.
But I potentially could like try and find a way to like manually swing myself over.
Yeah, I think if you want to do something a little bit more risky, and keep from having to like have a use of the grappling hook, absolutely you can do that. You would have to roll dex. If you fail, you would be stuck in the sticky trap, which is not
very true.
Is not the end of, it's not like, oh, you're stuck there forever. Like, you have options, but
that was the end. Cherry Pipp.
Yeah.
And we just left her there. We just continued on.
So yeah, I think are you all if you want to, you can have a little discussion. If you want to do a discussion in character to like figure out what you want to do.
What should we do, guys?
I'm still a little shook up. So I haven't quite figured out how to get over there quite yet. Anybody else have any suggestions though? I mean, sorry. I mean, does anyone else want to? If anyone else wants to make a move.
I mean, I'm pretty limber, so I could probably find a way to swing myself over, but it looks real sticky, so I don't know if I should do that. I got a lot of practice from the circus, but I don't know. I don't want to break your grappling hook. That looks really cool.
Looks.
Let me see. Well, Larkspur seems kind of shook up, so if you want to use my grappling hook, I understand. But I think I'm just gonna try my best, because we don't go anywhere if we don't try our best at things, right?
Right.
So, if I get stuck, that's cool. We could always use the grappling hook to maybe unstick me.
There you go.
I'll go last.
That work? I love the creativity, but couldn't work.
We can try.
You can absolutely try. Yeah, so it sounds like Seam is volunteering to go last. So just to kind of clear up your options, if you mark a usage of the grappling hook, that is basically you're just like swinging across on the grappling hook. You're not trying to go easy on it. You'll mark a usage for that. I believe the grappling hook has 3 usages. So it doesn't mean it's like broken completely after that. It doesn't mean it's like you could never use it again. Like it just means that like it's probably not strong enough to use in the future for something. If you do something where you're like trying to do something, maybe use the grappling hook to help get across, but not fully relying on it, you would roll a dex save, and instead of marking a use of the grappling hook, you would just be gambling that you're like trying to preserve it. You make a mistake, you like fall, you lose your grip, something like that.
Okay. In that case, I could probably gamble with my dex and see if we like not burn a usage with that with the grappling hook.
Cool.
I was gonna say, what if we like used it to like run along the wall?
Oh, absolutely. Cherry is a circus mouse. She's absolutely doing that.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a dex save.
Okay. Please, I've been rolling really, really low. Please don't end that now. That's an 8, and my dex is 8. Yes.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, you, as soon as Seam says like maybe you could grab it and like run around the wall, you grab the string and
halfway through the sentence, I'm already gone.
I just
Flying.
Go ahead, Seam. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna ask if we both have to roll.
You do not. No. So well, if you want to go across that way as well, you can roll for it, but just for Cherry to. You don't both have to. But yeah, Cherry, you're able to get your way across. And I think also maybe because of like the kind of mechanics of it, you're kind of like pushing off of like one side of the hallway and like swinging over to the other side and then pushing off and forward. And so you're just kind of really using that dex to get across. And you land on the other side. Now that you're on this side, you can see that there is like some sort of like there's some sort of contraption on this side. There's like some sort of like pulley like thing, like you could like a wheel or something that you could turn that might affect this thing, but I don't think you know exactly what the situation is with that.
Okay. Could I maybe try and figure it out? Would that like what would the penalty be for like sitting there and trying to figure out the mechanics for it?
I think you could just take some time to do it. So like as turns go, your actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and mark a usage of your lantern, because it has been
Okay.
6 turns. You're just running. Essentially, if you take time to try to figure it out, you're mostly just running the risk of encountering something. So you're taking more time. After certain every 3 turns, I roll for an encounter. So that's what you're risking by looking at it.
Okay. I am willing to, or Cherry is willing to risk it. What does my party think?
Well, are we on the other side of the sticky trap still?
As
Yeah,
someone
you
who
can
has
you
a-
can call out to each other. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing?
There's this little contraption. I don't know how it works, but I could probably figure it out. My brother's really, really good with this stuff, and he's been teaching me. But that might take a little while. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Go for it. Take your time. We don't have anywhere else to go.
We're stuck here, so.
We still have the light.
Yeah, the light's a little far away for your comfort, Larkspur. You're not like actively scared, but
Yeah, I'm getting a little nervous. I can see it, but it's a little far.
yeah.
Just a
Okay,
little
so then I
Maybe
guess
don't take
I
your
will-
time. Maybe actually.
I'll do my best. It'll take a little while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the time to try and figure out the contraption.
Cool. So yeah, you kind of mess with it. You're being very cautious because I think it's of everyone's interest that you don't inadvertently like set off a trap or like do something. So you're able to kind of follow like, okay, this rope is going here, and you can kind of see that it's like a drawbridge basically, so that like the rats, when they're coming to and fro, as long as there's someone on the other side, they can lift the sticky trap, like hoist it up, and then the other rats can pass through. So it takes you a little while just to like make sure everything's cool. Also, Seam, were you gonna say something before? I heard someone start to say something and I don't know who it was. No? Okay. I'm imagining things. What was that? Oh, Newt? Am I saying your name right? Nyeut. Thank you so much for the follow. We're playing Mausritter right now, and actually, I'm about to roll something.
Oh.
Okay. Because we're about at our break zone, that we were going to take a break about halfway through. Cherry, you start to wind this, this, it's like I said, it's kind of like a drawbridge mechanic. You start to wind it up. The sticky tape raises. I think Chewy, as soon as he sees that, like kind of like immediately buzzes up and gets the grappling hook, so it's not like, so the paper doesn't stick it to the ceiling. Yeah. So Chewy goes and retrieves that for you. And yeah, you're able to, the sticky trap has been lifted. But up ahead, you hear the sound of rats talking up ahead, and you can't tell if it's someone coming your way or if it's just that you're getting closer to your destination, but you can hear a little bit of something up ahead. And with that, we will go to our break with a little suspense.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Yeah, a little bit of a cliffhanger. Thank you everybody in the chat so much for hanging out and watching. I'm gonna go through the chat a little bit to catch up because I can't really I'm reading everything as it's coming in, but I can't really verbally respond. Breaks the immersion a little bit. So you've got somebody saying, who's ever excited to run into some rats? A lot of love for the rat or for the mouse voices. Also, Tag commenting, this was a little while ago, but I think Larkspur talking about getting real hydrated before you head out for the adventure. Tag said, you know what, folks don't talk about hydrating before an adventure often enough, which is it's true.
Very important.
Yeah. And like I said, thank you so much to NYET Niet. Am I saying your name correctly? You can feel free to tell me if I'm not. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, right now we're playing Mausritter, which is a kind of like Redwall or there was another game or another thing I was thinking of. I can't remember it now, but like kind of a like fantasy rodent adventure. And we'll reintroduce our guests when we come back from a break, because people, if you're anything like me, probably have to use the restroom at this point. Oh, Newt. Okay, so is it Newt or Newt? Newt. I think that's right. But yeah, we're gonna go over to our break screen, which features my cat CC Baxter. So if you want to watch a cat get up to cat antics for a little bit. And then we're going to come back with the second half of our adventure. And let me click that button. And also on the break screen, I have more information about the players tonight. I'll let them reintroduce themselves when we come back from a break. But yeah, we'll see you all in, let's see, it's 8:17. Let's just go ahead and say 8:30. We'll, which is different for everyone on the call. We're on
just round up to 30.
Yeah, just whatever 30 minutes in the hour that you're in. that's when we'll be back. Use this time to, get a drink, get a snack, use the restroom, and we'll be back with more mousy adventures in a little bit. Bye.
All right.
Welcome back, adventurers. We are here tonight playing Mausritter. Let me change my screen so it's not doing that. I'm here with our little mice today. We have Vanessa, who is playing Seam Thorn. We have Sierra, who is playing Larkspur Thorne. We haven't even talked about this, but you both have the same last name.
It's not the same. Yeah. It's just different enough.
Different spellings. Yeah, you're not
Mine
related.
has an E, okay?
Yeah.
It's very, very
The
important.
E makes it fancy.
Yeah.
That's some class.
And then
E stands for extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
It's accurate.
And then last we have Goblin, who you can see the adorable drawing, is playing Cherry Pipp, which is also an adorable name. Goblin also did the artwork of the 3 mice that you can see on the overlay. You can follow her. I think it's up on the overlay, but she's Goblin Girl Gaming on all platforms, and I'll put all of our players in the chat so that you can follow them on Twitch or whatever other platforms. But yeah, and with that, I guess I'll throw it over to each of you to reintroduce yourselves if people are just joining us for the second half. And I'll do it reverse order again. So Goblin, if you want to start off introducing yourself.
Sure, yeah. Well, my mouse is Cherry Pipp. She's kind of the runt of the family. She's a little
Trying to use the character voice. She is a very excitable field mouse. She comes from, her family owns a traveling circus. She is on one of the most previous stops that the circus did, or most recent stops rather. She came into contact with someone who's running a fortune-telling tent, and she managed to procure a very dubious treasure map, which we have been basing our adventure off of so far. And yeah, that's Cherry Pipp. She's very excitable, very I've been saying she gives off younger sibling vibes.
Yes.
And yeah, that's her.
Yeah, and then Sierra, you wanna? Also Goblin, do you want to like plug your channel or anything else like that? Any other stuff you got going on?
Oh yes. I am also a Twitch streamer. I think it's somewhere in the chat or somewhere. It's here somewhere. Yeah, I go by Goblin Girl Gaming on Twitch, on Instagram, just all my social medias. I do a lot of art. I did the little character art for our little mice, and I post those on my Instagram and my Twitter. And yeah, it's a good time. Come out and hang.
Yeah. Then next up we have Sierra. You want to introduce yourself, your mouse, and anything you have to plug?
So I'm Sierra. Super Silly Sierra on the internet. I'm on YouTube and Twitch, and I do comic reviews and recommendations. My mouse is Larkspur Thorne. The E is important. And yeah, he is a young mouse. He's a cartographer, so he does stuff with maps. He got hurt when he was younger, so he has a very stubby tail, but makes up for it in his long rat tail in his hair. And is very mysterious and a little cautious too, so.
Yeah. And then Vanessa, you want to reintroduce yourself, reintroduce your mouse, and plug anything that you want to plug.
All right. Hello. I am Vanessa. I am your standard dorky dork. I am here to have a good time. But yes, I am playing the role of Seam Thorn on this lovely day, or night, evening, depending on where you're from, who is a wee gray marbled mouse with a lovely beetle companion named Chewy, who we have learned to love very deeply, I think. She grew up in the darkness, like Bane.
Yeah.
I don't know how that line goes. But
yeah, I was born in darkness, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. So she is very excited to discover the new things and explore and wander and do the things. And I like to think she's stubborn as hell because she's a weakling, but makes up for it with grit.
Yes.
But yes, I personally, let me do my plug, right? Hey, I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play many a video game. If there is a video game out there, I probably play it on my stream because I have too many interests. But yeah, if you'd like to check me out, I'm sure my info is logged somewhere.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you immensely.
Yeah, the bot has links to Twitch and for Sierra, Twitch and YouTube because she uses both. And then also Twitter, Instagram, that kind of stuff is on the overlay, so you can get people to follow. And yeah, what we've been doing tonight so far is our three Mouseketeers are in. Oh, someone just put the whole. Thank you, Jojo Brewer, for putting the whole Bane.
Should I attempt it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Darkness is your ally.
Oh, I'm here for it.
The dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then, it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows, because they belong to me, the darkness line correcting.
Perfect, yes.
There we go. I hope you enjoyed that.
Encore.
Yeah. And thank you so much for the follow, Mr. Begone. You're catching us at a good time. We're right about to get. That's my husband saying that he loves Bane. We're about to get right back into the adventure. I'm going to recap what we did so far. So our three Mouseketeers are on the committee to organize the centennial celebration in I forgot Cowvington, the town that they're from. And they were supposed to meet the tax collector who was going to bring them the pips and so they could pay all the vendors, the food vendors and stuff like that. He arrived drunk and crying, saying that he was supposed to have some pips, which is the currency, delivered to the local cat overlord, and the cat let him know that they never arrived, and so now all the pips that were supposed to go to the celebration will have to be delivered to the cat. He pinned the blame on a rat that he hired to make the truck to deliver the pips, and now the three adventurers are trying to go to the kind of the rat lair. I can't talk. To see what's up, to maybe face down this rat and get the money so that the festivities can commence. They decided to take a little bit of a secret tunnel, as people in the chat were calling out.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah. A secret tunnel to get to this rat lair. They passed through a room with a locked door and a bunch of like a rat party room, it seemed kind of like, and just were able to make it through a sticky trap that was on the floor guarding the next passageway. And where we left off, they could hear the sounds of rats up ahead, unsure whether it was something that was headed their direction or if it just meant that they were getting closer to their goal of the rat base. So yeah, you all hear this sound. What is your reaction as you hear rats up ahead?
I feel like since I'm the one who's on the other side of the mouth or the glue trap, I feel like I would call back to the others like quietly. It's like, "Hey guys, I don't think we're alone anymore."
Seam probably is out here sweating nervously. Probably pulls Chewy to her chest, hugging him like a support animal.
Yeah.
No.
Just like, oh shit. I apologize for language.
Language is fine.
Yeah, then just imagine Seam like cursing profusely into like Chewy's head.
Yeah. Larkspur, what are you doing?
So I am still frightened, and I'm headed towards the light already. I don't know if I quite heard what Cherry Pipp had to say. I'm just running, not quite running, but moving as quickly as I could to the light.
Very loud. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up ahead?
It's so close.
Yeah, I think you're very Larkspur being very focused on the light. Immediately your focus is, this lantern. So you're kind of locked in on that. And then once you're to the lantern, you kind of look up ahead a little bit, and can see light up ahead as well, like a little bit in the distance. As if it's coming from a bigger room or something and kind of leaking into the hallway. And that's where it seems like the sound is coming from.
Okay. So do we stay quiet? Do we run up ahead? I'm still frightened, so I'm sticking close to the lantern. I don't know. If anyone else.
Can we see the source of the light, or can we just see that the tunnel's getting brighter?
I don't think you can see the source of the light. It's kind of like, when you're in like a dark hallway or something like that, and there's a room with a door open, that light is coming from that room, but it's like kind of to the side, so you can see like the radiant light coming through. I don't know if that's the right term, but you can't see you can't see the actual source of the light. You can just see that it's lit up ahead.
Got it. Okay. I don't know. I think I'm of the mind that we could potentially slip by. Are we able to hear anything coming from the room? I know we could hear like talking or not talking.
You talking from rats. Yeah.
Is it aggressive? Is there like music going on? Are they chill?
Joking
Can you get the vibe? Is there?
Yeah.
Can we roll a vibe check?
I use my lack of social skills to
ambient. Yeah, ambient light. Sorry. My mom in the chat just let me know. Yeah, not radiant, but ambient light. I don't think you need to roll anything. I think if you take time to kind of sit in, not complete darkness, you have a lantern, but if you take a turn to kind of sit and kind of feel things out, you I think come to the conclusion it sounds like not a party. It sounds like a restaurant or a bar. Like, it sounds like people are up ahead where this light is coming from, like hanging out. So it doesn't sound aggressive. Also, I mean, you understand, like, rats, like all rodents in this setting kind of speak the same language, although maybe variations of it. So once you're kind of listening, you can hear, like, there's like some music, there's like some kind of stuff. It seems like this is probably your destination, that this is kind of like the rat hangout that you're trying to get to.
Okay. If that's the case, I feel like, again, just not reading the vibe. Cherry just starts marching her way over there. Like marching her way over, like Cherry wants to go over there. Goblin the player does not. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I almost want to give time for Seam or Larkspur to kind of like grab her and pull her back.
Yeah, Cherry is once again taking off. Larkspur, I think you're getting some flashbacks to the last time.
This hallway's still iffy. It's still a little. It's shady.
Yeah.
A little dark.
Seam is still very much being a follower, and even though thinks like this is not the best course of action, it's just like we're gonna follow behind this kid. Like they gotta know where they're going, right? I mean, who else would walk so confidently into danger?
Yeah, I think you're kind of like saying that
casual.
quietly to Chewy, who's like kind of cuddled up.
She's just looking up at me like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So yeah, talking to yourself and saying like, of course we're fine. Larkspur, what are you doing?
I'm wondering if I can get a drink though, because this hallway's making me nervous, and if there's a bar up ahead, there has to be.
Yeah.
Do we just go in casual? I mean, we don't have a reason for them to be mad about. I know it's their hangout, but how angry?
Yeah.
I do want to point out that if Cherry is allowed to get to the door, she is swinging it open as loud as she can.
Probably with the map on
Subtlety
the
is not her best suit.
Yeah, you slam the map down on the as soon as you walk in. Yeah, I think Larkspur, you're kind of hanging back a little bit, trying to decide what to do. It does seem like it's a bar, restaurant, some kind of. I mean, you can't know exactly for sure because you're not seeing it. Rats and mice are not like. It's not like running into a snake or running into like some of these other creatures. It's not like they're immediately going to descend on you and like start attacking you. But they might, like kidnap you. Like it's a possibility of like if you're thinking like, oh, is there some other creature that would like pay like I said earlier, they can be like bounty hunters or something. So if it's like, oh, like I'm like a wanted creature or something like that, I might be worried. Or if I have a lot of money on me, like it's like going into like, like kind of a seedy
situation.
Yeah. I'm gonna say seedy bar, but sure. Seedy bar hostage situation. So caution is probably advisable. It's not like you're walking into like, I don't know. It's not like you're walking into an ambush, but you're also not walking into a place that's going to be particularly hospitable to you.
Okay. I think I'm going to try to play it cool until I can't. They can't.
So I think everybody go ahead and roll me, if you're all kind of just trying to go in casual, roll me a will save. So you'll roll a d20. And yeah, you'll want it to be lower than your will, which Sierra's, I believe, is a 2. So.
I got.
Yeah.
Oh my god, an 18.
I got a 6.
Is that lower? That's lower for you because your will is like 9,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got a 20.
Cool.
Playing D&D, that'd be great.
Yeah, if we were playing D&D, that would be amazing, but we're not. So, see, maybe because you have your kind of emotional support beetle that you're kind of holding on to, you're able to kind of just like very casually make your way in, which would be cooler if it weren't for Cherry Pipp, obviously overcompensating.
Oh my god. I feel like with Cherry, I feel like her only interaction with any other type of being has been like people coming to see her perform. So she has no concept of like These people could be dangerous.
Yeah, if anyone is familiar with, I think the vibe of this is very like Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he goes to the biker bar. So you like go in, you like walk in the door. I think there has to be some of those swingy like saloon doors. You go in, you slam the door open like full of confidence and see all of these rats like turn and look at you like
Just like real slow.
yeah. And it's, you know, a couple of them you see kind of have their hands on weapons, like not like they're immediately going to attack, but just like what is going on. This little mouse, you know, comes in, and I think your stomach just drops because this is like, I don't think you've ever been in a crowd like this where everyone's eyes are on you and they don't look excited as you walk in. And then
I don't know if she says this out loud, but my immediate reaction is like,
Oh God, tough crowd.
yeah. Larkspur, you're motivated to keep moving forward because you really want to stay with this lantern. And when you kind of poke your head through a little bit behind Cherry, you almost are getting the feeling of like, maybe it would, you know, like I almost would rather take my chances with this pitch black hallway that I'm terrified
Than this crowd.
But Seam, you're kind of unbothered. I think you kind of maybe push your way in front of everybody a little bit and see this rat bar, bunch of rats hanging around.
Maybe there was a rat or two in the wall when you were young. Maybe you've come
Yeah.
across a rat or
I
once
speak rat.
before. There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody has to.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so you
How are we doing tonight? Nice weather we're having, huh? Just a little nervous, but not phased.
holding
Just
this
chilling
bug.
with my beetle. Just say hi, Chewy.
Chewy flies up, like kind of squiggles out of your arms and does like a little bzzz, like kind of fly by around the bar. After a moment, all the rats kind of like, they're still kind of like looking at you a little
What
bit,
the
but yeah, the music starts again. They kind of go back to what they're doing. And one of the rats, you can see, I think Seam, you notice this because you are kind of the only one who's not like a little bit freaked out to be here. Yeah. You notice there is over in the corner, there's a rat that has like kind of, I think little pieces of, what would this be? Maybe little pistachio shells. That he is kind of like doing like a shell game thing with. So he has a table and he's like, you can see him shuffling these shells around. And when he sees you all come in, I think you recognize the look of someone who is like wanting to. Oh, I have my. Hang on. I have my alert box behind some other things. On my overlay. You recognize the look of someone who is like, oh, here are like some rubes, essentially. Like here's some like new blood. And oh, thank you so much, Dungeonuity, for the $10 tip. So all three of you can mark that you have another use of inspiration.
oh, lovely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and you all, or not, sorry, not all of you, but, Seam, you see this rat kind of look at you like, oh, here's some fresh meat, and he calls over to you and says, hey, little mousies, why don't you get over here?
I think Seam gets very excited
open my
because
water?
she has not seen such water. What kind of water is that, Taylor?
It is water. It's sparkling water.
That's not water.
It's made
Sparkling
of
water
water.
The main ingredient is water. Right. So I think Seam gets very excited because she probably has not seen this game before, and she is very curious by nature. So, guys, let's go check this out. And then proceeds to drag the other Spook 2 forward. Do I have to roll for it?
No, neither of them are like well.
That's scared.
Yeah, they're not like mechanically frightened. They
a little
just,
more shell shocked.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, you make your way over, and this rat is like, nah, what some rats like you doing or some sorry, I forget myself, some mice like you doing in a place like this.
Oh, well, we're just having a look around. I try to play it cool because, I don't know what this man's intentions truly are. I'm not a complete idiot, just a little bit of one. So I'm like, well, what is this, dude? Like, what kind of game is this?
Oh, you never played a shell game before?
No, sir.
He says, oh yeah, go ahead, Cherry.
Sorry, I just pieced together what the shell game was.
Yeah.
Would this be potentially something that is played at the circus?
I think
That's what I was
absolutely.
thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, Cherry has to know the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Cherry
shell
knows
game.
what's up.
I should explain this because I didn't actually. I just said shell game, but I didn't really say anything. It's the thing where you have like the three cups,
Yeah.
3 cups and balls or 3 shells or whatever, and there's like some sort of thing underneath that you're shuffling them around, and then people bet on which shell or which cup the item is under. Yeah.
Classic.
Okay.
Classic shells.
In that case, would there be any way for me to indicate that, like, because I feel like I said, this would be a game that would be played at the circus, and to take it a step further, it would be like a way to kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Rip
It would be
people
a way
off.
to kind of dupe circus goers out of their money.
Yeah.
Scam.
And so would there be any way for me to convey to this rat that I know what's up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's up to you. Like what would Cherry be doing to try to convey that?
Oh gosh. Immediately, because since I'm a little off my kilter, or just fish out of water feeling, my mind immediately went to Cherry would just do what she knows best, and she would start trying to like perform her circus routine.
Oh, dang it.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were gonna say you were gonna try to like know which one it was under or something. But yeah, I love
Oh
that.
no.
Yeah, what is your
She's
circus?
not feeling her most confident, and she's like, "This I know."
What is Cherry's circus routine? Like what what would you all of a sudden start doing? Seam is like playing it cool, is like, oh hey, what's this? And then you start like, are you doing like cartwheels or like what's happening?
So okay, knowing Cherry and just I want to be extravagant, but I also don't want this bar to like come crashing down on us.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just knocks
so
everything
I feel
over.
like Cherry would get up onto the bar. Are there like plates and cups and stuff on the bar?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like Cherry would get up onto the bar, balance herself on her tail while picking up like just there's still food on these plates, there's still drinks in these cups, and just like perfect. Just trying to juggle them.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me I think this has to be a dexterity save.
Oh, gladly. I almost want to fail this roll.
I want it to fail. And just be chased
Okay.
out of this bar
See,
by
that's
angry patrons.
Yes.
Come on. That is a 12, so I fail.
Okay.
Oh,
So Seam like goes over and is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Larkspur's kind of like still kind of close to the group of you. You like look at I think the way that this looks is you are kind of in a daze as you come in. You're like, no one's cheering. What's happening? You look down at the shell game, kind of like not really seeing it, and then focus on it. Something like clicks in your mind of like, yes, I know this. You immediately just do like a backflip and like without saying anything, just like jump up onto the bar I think with the 12 decks, you kick over some of the glasses a little bit. There's there's like a thimble full of like something you kick over. You pick up these trays, and just like your hands are still shaking a little bit because you're a little off your game. And you really, I mean, you try to juggle, but it's pretty hard to juggle a bunch of plates with food on them. That's like not normally what your routine is. What are the other two? Larkspur, I'm really interested to know what your reaction is to this being the other.
You see me start to sweat, and I'm like, the show must go on. The show must go on.
I'm just amazed that you can even try to pick up the plates with the food on it. Like, I've never seen anyone still attempt it while someone was in the middle of eating. It's amazing.
Show-stopping, mind-blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, the immediately the bartender kind of like gets like a broomstick or something. And says, "Hey, off the counter! You can't have your feet up on the bar," and starts to kind of like hold the broomstick like he's gonna swing on you.
But I don't have my feet on the bar because I'm balancing on my tail. Or maybe that's when I do that.
Cherry, confirmed, biggest smart ass.
Yeah, he is going to take a swing at you with this
Oh god.
bartender. They're with the the broom handle. Okay. Oh, okay, so that's a 4. So you're gonna take 4 damage to it. First goes to your HP. And I don't think it goes past that because you have 5, right? So yeah. So,
I do, yeah.
So yeah, it was only a D4, but I did get a 4 on it, so I got the highest roll I could get. So yeah, he just kind of like comes down like right on the back of your head with this like broom handle, and says,
"Cherry is out."
Oh no.
Yeah, Cherry, I guess tumble forward.
Can I go to catch them? Can I run and
Yeah.
grab them before they hit the floor?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a dex save.
Okay, at least that's a 5 for me, so let's see. 7!
Oh no.
Oh no! Never mind!
You run forward with your
You do
arms.
have inspiration if you want to re-roll.
That's true, you can re-roll if you want to. You have
Okay.
2 points of inspiration, so...
Okay, let's use one of them. Let's
Yeah.
see. Wait, hold on. 13! Never mind!
You run
Wow.
forward with your arms out, very bravely considering how freaked out you are. And just your arms out, Cherry Pipp just falls like to like the left. So her feet just kind of graze against your arm as she
We were close.
Yeah,
We were close.
as she hits the ground. This rat that you were talking to, Seam, goes, "Hey, let's cool it. We don't want to have a bar fight in here. You mice are gonna get yourselves killed." And the bartender is just kind of standing there, still with the broomstick. Cherry,
menacing.
you are laying on the ground. I don't think you're unconscious.
I have 1 hit point.
Yes. So after you go through your hit points, it goes to your strength. So that definitely hurt you, but you're you're not like down for the count. But you are laying on your back.
Nothing is bruised but my pride.
Oh no!
Yeah, and a little bit the back of your head, I think.
Mostly the pride.
Yeah. But yeah, this rat looks at you, Seam, and goes, "What's the deal with your friends? I mean, like,
Hey, listen!
Oh my gosh, did you mean to do that? Did you mean to do that? Okay, my husband just tipped $60.
Oh my god.
What? Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.
I'm still not sure if he meant to do 60 or
Take
It's
it
like
back.
It was 6.
Take it back.
He meant to do 6.
Take it back.
So that's why I turned around and said, "Did you mean to do that?" But thank you. Yeah, you all get another point of inspiration.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I
Yay.
try to like attend to those like not right in the middle of when I'm saying something, but I was a little taken aback.
I feel like that warrants an interruption.
So yeah, this rat kind of looks at you, Seam, and says like, what's going on with your friends? Jumping up on the bar? Like, what are you guys doing here?
Got this.
To be quite honest, sir, I have no idea what the hell their problem is. But I will say,
We're just work colleagues. We're just all
will
colleagues.
say,
We're doing
I mean, it was kind of entertaining, wasn't it? Didn't you get a good chuckle?
He says, yeah, I guess you're right. That was you think it's funny that your friend just kind of got like cracked in the head, fell on the ground.
Maybe a little bit.
I
I'm
like
hiding
for the
behind.
show.
I like you. I can tell you've been around rats before.
Yeah, sir. A little extra rasp right there. Yeah.
on the same level.
Yeah, I think he kind of looks at all of you and says, so seriously, like, what are you doing here? You're mice. You came out of the rat tunnel. I feel like you have to be here for a reason.
What can you tell me about a rat named Parmesan?
Enigma. Parmesan Enigma.
Parmesan Enigma. Well, I could probably tell you some stuff, but tell you what, you play around in my shell game. You put 5 pips on a shell. I'll tell you what I know. How's that sound?
I have 2 pips if anyone wants to.
I have 4. So
I have 5.
Cool. Yeah.
I feel like we can pool so we don't. It doesn't
I
clean
can put-
any of us out.
I can put 2 in.
I got 1.
All right, I'll get the other 2.
Nice.
Cool.
You all
Teamwork.
I do want to say Cherry is not saying anything. She's 2 for 2.
you get up.
Just puts up $2, just is like still on the floor and is like, here,
Eyes just
2 pips.
dead-eyed.
Yeah, I think everyone gives Seam the 2 pips, or they're not all 2 pips, but gives Seam the pips. And you hand him over, and this rat looks at you and says, "All right, little mousy, keep your eyes on I'm trying to think of what would be small. I almost said marble, but for a mouse, a marble would be big.
Why not a sunflower seed?
Yeah.
Seed.
Perfect. Yeah, so he takes a sunflower seed and puts it under one of these like bigger shells and starts, and he says, "Keep your eye on the sunflower seed. Watch the sunflower seed," and is kind of doing this quick hand movement. Go ahead and Seam, because you have the possibility that you could win, your money back. So he's just asking for the opportunity to rip you off. So go ahead.
It's not confirmed.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll. I think this would be will to try to keep your eye. And I'll say if, since there's 3 of you, you can roll it with advantage. So you can roll 2 and take the lower number.
So 20?
20. Is that the lower number?
No, I'm asking that's what I'm rolling, yes?
Oh, yes. Yeah, D20.
Okay, I'm rolling twice. We got 10 and 3.
3, yeah.
My will is 9, so we're good.
Perfect. So he's kind of going, shuffling these around. And you've been around rats before. Maybe you've played this game before. Maybe you're just used to watching like quick movements of your beetle companion, but you're able to keep your eye on where it is. And after he finishes, shuffling the shells around, you point confidently to the middle shell, and he lifts the shell back, and you can see the sunflower seed is there. He looks a little surprised, and he says, "Oh, okay, well, that didn't really go how I planned that to. Okay, well, here you go, 10 pips. You get your pips back, and you get some more." And hands over, so you made a little money. And he says, "Come, let's go, let's get a table." brings you over to a little kind of like bench seating table. And he says, Parmesan Enigma. That's who you're looking for. Well, I ain't seen Parmesan Enigma in a couple days. He was supposed to be delivering something to, I can't remember the name of the cat. Cattle Threx. He was supposed to be delivering something to Cattle Threx. He was getting, paid for it real well. That was, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I haven't seen him since. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You all seem to be at a loss for words. Is that not what you were expecting?
Am I still on the floor?
That's up to you.
Just scooted along while we move tables, like on the floor.
Someone just dragged me along. I'm underneath the table.
We'll say it was Chewy dragging you along.
Yeah.
Lots of dragon in this one.
Or just like behind you, just pushing you like, ugh.
You don't have to be on the ground, but if you choose to be, you can be.
I feel like just my wounded pride. I needed a second to recuperate.
Yeah.
Well,
If
Mr.
that's the
Ratzer.
case-
No,
Sorry,
you.
Go ahead.
I can't see if your finger's on your
Oh.
Please go ahead. Mine's gonna be super muffled because I'm coming from the floor.
Yeah, Seam, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Ratzer, what would you say about Mr. Parmesan's character? Do you think he's a trustworthy rat?
Yeah, I think this rat, by the way, I didn't do this. I was going to say, the rat kind of, as you're all sitting down, kind of, shakes your hands and introduces himself as Waddle Witter, which is a name that Sierra came up with. That was almost the name of her rat or her mouse, and I really liked it, so I stole it for an NPC.
Nice.
So he kind of like shakes hands with you and says, Waddle Witter, nice to meet you. The character of Parmesan Enigma, well, like what I guess he's a good rat. I don't know. You think he did something or what's up?
I never said that.
Mommy.
What was that, little mouse?
God damn it.
I do have to turn my head.
He stole our money.
Parmesan Enigma stole your pips. That, if that's what you're asking about, personally, I don't really think he's the type of rat that would do something like that, And if he would have stole the money, I mean, like, I feel like he would have spent some of it here. I haven't seen him.
Are you saying you trust this rat enough to leave him with your house while you're out of vacation for the weekend? Are you saying that he's that you trust him enough to leave the key to your home with him?
I mean, if I was paying him to do it, I would trust him. I wouldn't just give him the key to my house, but if I was paying him good pips for it, yeah, I mean, I don't know he's ever double crossed anybody before, which is more than I can say for a lot of the rats around here.
Okay.
Wow. Do you guys think something happened to him on the way to deliver the pips?
I mean, there's a reason why somebody wouldn't want to do it, Obviously, you all didn't want to take your pips wherever he was, take them to Cattle Thrax, so there's always dangers.
Do you know anything about the route he takes? If I pulled out a map, could you point maybe where he starts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is Cherry
The mention of map. As if from the grave, she
Just
arrives.
Cherry rises from underneath the table, eyes glowing red.
Somebody
Map in
say
hand.
map.
Yeah, does Cherry put her map on the table? I'm assuming the answer is yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
From underneath the table, just arm.
Yeah, once again, Chewy has to jump out of the way. I think when Chewy hears the word map, like, immediately, like, wings start buzzing. knows that he's in danger. Yeah, the Waddlewitter kind of jumps a little bit and says, it'd probably be like this route right here, that kind of the main road to get to Cattlethrax. And it is like basically the road that you all would have taken, like, you know, to the side. Also, I realized I didn't describe what this hangout looks like at all, so I'm gonna do that real quick. So when you're in here, you know, you kind of came from like the side, you came from this tunnel, but as you're kind of looking around, you can kind of get a feel for your surroundings. This rat hangout looks like it used to be like a big wooden crate, like a slatted crate that's kind of been built onto. And you also notice that, like, it's kind of tilted at a weird angle. And you can see some signs, and, like, there's, like, a barricaded off part that says, like, danger, stuff like that. And you're able to kind of put together that, like, this crate is partially submerged in... There's, like, a lake that's pretty close to where you all live. And the crate's partially submerged in that lake.
It's on the water.
Yeah. So you know too that this path that he's talking about, this road, kind of goes alongside that lake. Further to the north, is the road that he's saying that Parmesan Enigma would have taken.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I've got a compass, so I know which way north is. If that's any help.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, you know, there's road signs, you know, that way, because it's kind of a lot of people gotta go to Cattlethrax, but if you can't read this map and the compass, that could help you out quite a bit.
I like to imagine that Seam is illiterate.
Yeah, so Seam, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, that is good that we have yeah, but Waddle kind of looks around. Cherry, are you still on the ground, having just slapped the map on the table from the ground, or?
Yeah, I feel like after I've spread my map out, I'm up on the table now. Or not up on it, but like sitting at the table.
Juggling again.
Yeah, this character I have to clarify.
Yeah, you're all sit at the table, and Waddlewitter kind of looks around and says, so, is that anything else I can do for you, or
Do we need anything else? Does anyone need any snacks before we go? Can I get that drink actually that we were talking about earlier? Yeah.
If you all want to take, I'll say you can take a short rest while you're here and get some snacks, get some drinks. Yeah, let me look up, because I think this, first of all, will take care of the frightened condition, so you can mark that off of your sheet.
Nice.
And then I think also you can get hit points back, Cherry, from getting.
Thank you. I'm gonna need that.
Let me see how many. I think it's a D6. Rest and healing, short rest. Yeah, so you can roll a D6, and it would be whatever you get plus 1.
Okay.
That you can add
That
back
is
to
I
your
would
6.
like.
So does that bump up my HP, or do I just go up to full?
You just go up to full, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Seam.
To distribute our winnings.
Oh yeah, you did win 5 pips.
Yeah, so I want to give everybody back their original pips, and then give them like the multiple of what they gave.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
So yeah,
So an equal distribution.
yeah. So then Larkspur would get 3 pips back total, I think, because you put in 1. And then is this right? Yeah. And then no, you would get
Everyone else gets
2.
4.
yeah,
So I
you
would
would
get
would
2
be-
and have
you would
3
get 2.
total.
4, 2, 4.
yeah. don't ask me to do math.
Do math.
Yeah. Vanessa, whatever.
That's what the dice are for.
whatever you're trying to do it, and tell them how many pips they get, because I don't know.
Before Waddle heads off, can I actually like ask?
Oh yeah.
he has any connections to the circus.
Yes.
Yeah. So how are you? Like, what are you saying to Waddle as you're all kind of? I think you're sitting over drinks for a little bit. He seems at least amused by all of you. So he's kind of hanging out with you.
No thanks to my antics.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Witter. Do you know anything about the flying mice circus?
Yeah, the flying mice circus. I've seen them a few times, but what do you want to know?
Well, I was just curious if you knew about them, cause I tried to show you, but it didn't go around so well.
Is that what you were doing with the tail thing and the throwing the plates around? I ain't never seen anything like that at a circus before, I gotta say.
That's a new trick. I'm still workshopping it.
Yeah, I would say don't quit your day job, but I think your day job is the circus thing, so,
Yeah, I usually have the trapeze to work with, so I really had to improvise. So.
If anything, that makes me more concerned for you.
Oh.
Yeah, so you all have a little conversation. And if you want to, you can head out to, or if there's something.
Can I check the bar and see if they have any snackage?
Yes, they do. Yeah. I'll say, if you want to.
What are your wares, sir?
If you want to, I think Larkspur, if you want to spend a pip to get a drink, and whatever else you want to do, and yeah. What kind of snackage do you think you're looking for, Seam? Like, do you have like a specific thing you're in the mood for, or?
Oh, I don't know. Seeing all the pistachio seeds probably made me want a pistachio.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think for
Just one.
yeah, well, big
Just
for,
one big one
for a mouse. Yeah, yeah. I think if you want a pistachio, it's probably 2 pips for like a full pistachio. But they have
full
them.
pistachio.
Yeah, or if you just want part of a pistachio, it could be 1 pip.
Excuse me, sir. 1/2 of a pistachio, please.
Yeah, that'll be 1 pip. I'll get that right up for you.
Just drop a little pip on this bar.
Yeah, he still has his broomstick at close by,
ready.
Yeah, but hands you I think he uses it to kind of crack a pistachio open and then like kind of split it in half.
Also be like a subtle threat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what he does is he uses the broomstick to crack the pistachio open and then puts the whole pistachio like right here, like in his like bicep, and just like cracks the whole thing in half and hands you half of it as a show of force. This is a very muscular rat.
Bluff rat.
Is there anything else you all want to do before you head out?
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Got that drink,
I think
so I'll hydrate it.
I feel like the only other thing that I could be doing is like we're in a bar. Cherry is very much a child. Being someone underage in a bar is super exciting, and I feel like she would want to try and get a drink out of the bartender. I don't know how much luck she would have with that.
I think roll me a will save with disadvantage, since you've already kind of had a run in with this.
Oh god,
with this
okay.
bard.
Oh, no.
So I roll 2 and I take the higher?
Yes. Yeah, the higher.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh god. Oh, hang on. Okay. I got 2 10s, which I still failed, but
Yeah, I think you start to kind of make your way over to the bar, and the bartender just like looks at you, maybe dusting the pistachio dust off his arm. Exactly. And I think you would maybe, you get the feeling that it's maybe not a great idea to try to get a drink.
Proceeds anyway.
I kind of want to, but I also want to get out of this bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can cut to all of you outside of the bar. We're getting close to when we kind of were planning to wrap up. I think we'll probably be done around 10. We might run a little bit late if you're all cool with that. If you're not cool with it, put in the chat if you don't want to say. 10 for me, not 10 for all of you. That would be wild.
That is fine by me. I'm always down.
Cool. So you head out, and you're able to make your way up the road a little bit. And it's not too terribly long before you see something glimmering off the side of the road. And I think all of you immediately, because you're kind of on the lookout, recognize this to be a bright, shiny quarter that has been fashioned as a shield.
Oh.
Guys, it's Parmesan's shield.
I don't know if he would just leave something like this behind.
You guys
Should we
want it?
look
Because
around?
if you don't, I want it.
I mean,
Already called dibs.
I think like Cherry in her
shall
head,
rule
she's
the
like,
death.
Yeah, this is a really good shield, but I only have my slingshot, so I kind of want to use it as a sled since it's snowing.
There you go. I imagine
cute.
having siblings, you have to call dibs first, right? You have
oh,
to be on top of
absolutely.
it.
I'm like,
My own sled. Oh.
Yeah, I imagine are going over to where this shiny quarter is. And I think Cherry, you maybe are you seem to be the one who's dashing ahead, rushing forward. You
just keeping in the theme.
yeah, you get your hands on this quarter, and can see now that you're closer. First of all, there's some blood on it. And you also
oh yes, a bloody sled.
yeah, maybe
My
it doesn't
favorite.
seem as much fun for a sled. And then also you can see the grass, the tall grass with that's off to the side of where the road is, that has the snow on top. There's a big wide path as if something has been dragged or something has moved along this area.
Ooh. Okay. Well, you said that I was the one in the lead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense to
I
me.
feel like Cherry would very much be just marching ahead, like kind of keeping in theme with her younger sibling energy. But at the sight of blood or just any sign of a struggle, I feel like she kind of takes pause. She's excited to go on an adventure, and she's she's not too aware of the danger.
Mm-hmm.
She's also aware that she's a small mouse, and she does not have much in terms of firepower.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like pausing for a second, trying to assess the situation.
Yeah, I think the other two of you kind of catch up when Cherry stops in her tracks, which is notable.
Yeah.
And you see the same thing. You see this quarter with some blood on it, and this big path, kind of, not path, but like something that's been dragged or something has moved through this area.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for me to send Chewy up into the heavens to kind of
Nice.
survey the surrounding area to see if there's any threats or anything
Good call.
that we
Absolutely.
can't see?
You send Chewy up, and he flies up into the sky, circles around a bit. You can see this little speck as he's kind of flying around up ahead. And then you see he kind of does like a quick circle and then comes right back to you very quickly. He seems very agitated. And I think what I'm gonna do, because you can communicate pretty well, but he doesn't. It's hard for you to understand specific things that he's saying because he's a bug and you're a mouse. So go ahead and roll. I think this would be a will save to try to see if you can tell exactly what he's communicating to you. But I'll say you can roll it with advantage because so you can take the lower number because you know Chewy so well.
It's 20 and 12. So,
Oh, no.
but can I do
You
an
do have
the roll?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I have like 3, don't I?
yeah. We are
Okay.
getting close to wrapping up, so yeah, you can use as many as
Burn
you want.
them out.
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
You can tell that what he's telling you is, and maybe it was hard to understand because you haven't encountered something like this before, but he's telling you that there is a snake up ahead in the grass.
Oh no.
And he also is telling you that the snake is sleeping and is coiled around a bag of pips.
Guys, I don't think Parmesan Enigma's okay.
Oh, really?
All right.
R.I.P.
I can
Parmesan
sense
Enigma.
a certain member of our group quivering.
Yeah, this is pretty scary for Larkspur.
Yeah, this is traumatic. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of trauma, just a sprinkle.
Just a sprinkle.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah.
Like you would sprinkle Parmesan. No.
Oh no. To consume.
Dash of Parmesan.
Anyone?
I express to the team what's up, you know?
Yeah.
What's
Mhm.
happening? Hey guys, Chewy says that there's a snake up there and it looks like he has our pips. He didn't say anything about St. Parmesan though, but I don't think it's good.
Yeah, gosh, oh,
I feel like for once Cherry's kind of like at a loss for words.
Hang on, I think my door just opened. I think it didn't get shut all the way, and my cat is freaking out. So have a conversation. I can hear you, so I have headphones in. But go ahead and have this conversation.
Okay.
For once, Cherry isn't charging forward.
Yeah, right.
No, this is like the first time that she's actually like experiencing danger, you know?
I imagine nobody wants to move too quickly either if there's a snake right there. So we're all kind of just huddled, having a moment,
Having a little powwow.
having a powwow, the quietest powwow.
Whispered powwow. Do we want to approach the snake?
Did he
what do we
did
wanna
he
do?
say what kind? Did he say what color? Does he any information on?
Chewy, do you have this information for us?
Yeah, I think he kind of like buzzes around and then flaps his wings a little bit. And it seems like he's describing something very, very unusual. Because, you know, magic exists in this world of mice. This snake has... what he's trying to convey is the snake has, like, some wings. And then you also see that he's kind of gesturing, like, around his mouth. And, like, his little, like, hands are kind of, like, going like this. It seems like this is a drake, which is a type of snake that is, like, kind of dragon-like, has wings. You would know that they're... not functional wings, but also can breathe fire.
Gosh.
But it is asleep right
guys.
now.
I don't have great news for us.
It gets worse.
It's a drake.
wow.
But it's
I
asleep,
thought those
so-
were a myth.
No, they're definitely real.
Okay.
It's sleeping, so maybe our best course of action would be to sneak up real close and see if we can get it to let go of our pips.
I mean, I guess, but do we really want to risk waking it up?
I
Do
mean,
you
what are
think
our
we-
other options?
Do you think we could distract it? Do you think we could get it away from the pips and leave them?
Oh,
I mean, I do have the thing I found in the tunnel. Oh my god, I can tell you guys about the
You found something in this tunnel? What information have you been?
Oh, I pull it out and I show them. I'm like,
yeah, I can make light with it, or I can stun something. I think we can use like if we wake it up and we stun it, I think we might have a chance to like I don't know.
No, I like it.
I
So
think
what
I'm
kind of
down with this
distraction
idea.
do we?
Well, I don't know. I think we don't really have to be too fancy with it. Maybe if we just like rustled the grass, made it look like there was like something it could eat or something. I don't know.
Can Chewy fly higher than this thing can? If it's kind of like a chicken and it can't really get off the ground, is Chewy like?
I
Yeah.
think we could use Chewy.
Yeah, drakes can't actually fly. They have wings, but can't really fly with them.
It's all for show.
Yeah.
Works. Okay.
So yeah, maybe we could get Chewy to kind of buzz around its head and wake it up, and then kind of lead it towards where we need it led.
Okay. What is the landscape around like where we're standing? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
assuming we're not in the tunnel anymore.
No, you're not in the tunnel. So you're outside. You're kind of off to the side of this path, which is like kind of a well-traveled path for like small creatures. So I think the grass is kind of like overhanging over the top. And off to the side is, you know, where you found this quarter. And then you know that, like, not too far from here is, like, the lake. So if you went out that direction a little bit more, you would be in the lake.
Okay. Is there any like
Can we? Do you think we can get Chewy over the water? Like have him like run there? Because if it breathes fire, it probably doesn't like water. Right? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, I think none of you have like run into this specific type of snake before, so you know some about it. You know, your guess that it might not like water is like a fair assumption. You don't know for sure.
okay.
I mean, that's
Also-
just like a backup plan, right?
If this changes
Got
anything,
magical
also, I think Chewy. Let me check the rules on this. I don't know if Chewy can use magic. I don't know if it's only a thing that mice can do. Casting a spell, your mouse must hold the tablet in a paw and read it aloud. I think Chewy could try to cast the spell. So if you wanted to like if that features into like plans at all, like you could have Chewy try to be, or like one of you try to like be the bait and have the spell as like a backup if you can't get away, like something like that you could do.
Okay. I wonder if would it be prudent to like wake up the drake, cast the stun spell, and then like using audio or oral cues like lead it towards the water, like so it can't really tell where it's going. I don't know.
Are you asking me or are you pitching it as an idea?
I'm kind of pitching it as an idea. I guess, would I know anything about? Well, no, I wouldn't, because it's a fairy tale to me.
Yeah. I don't think you would know much more than what, you know, than that it's a type of snake.
Okay,
Guys,
gotcha.
I have a bow and arrow.
Oh, that's
What
right.
if, when it's blinded, or like, you know, like, I shoot it and then it'll attack towards it feels the arrow's coming from. So I could be like on the other side of the water unless it's like a super big body of water.
Could work.
It's a pretty big body of water, I'll say. I don't think you could be on the other
Sizable.
side of it. Yeah, because it's like a human lake. So I guess I guess for yeah, I guess I should have specified that. I think for the mice it would seem like an ocean. Like this would be huge. Yeah.
Maybe I can use my grappling hook to get me somewhere higher up, and then from there shoot at the snake.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a tree nearby that you could do that. It would probably be a let me look at the combat.
Do we try to stun it first? Do you want to try to like knock it down before you shoot at it? You feeling confident?
I was hoping we would do that like when he was
Stun it?
blinded, and then try to like guide him
All right.
elsewhere.
I think maybe I could use my my slingshot after it's stunned and just like get it out onto where we are.
And then can we see the lake from where we're standing?
I think the grass is too tall, but you know where it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then I guess I could use my slingshot while it's stunned and try and lure it to where Seam can see it, and then she can use her bow and arrow.
Do we know how long the stun spell goes for? I feel like we should.
We're like, it's gonna work for a whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get 5 seconds.
It doesn't say specifically. I think I will say, if it manages to stun the creature, you don't know exactly how long it would be, but probably enough time that you could maybe grab the pips and like just get away. Like you might not have to kill this snake. I mean, you can if you want to, like if you want to just get rid of it. Yeah.
Revenge. Done.
But it's definitely long enough, like maybe a couple minutes, that you could try to stun it, and yeah, it would be out for a little bit.
Cool.
Okay.
I think that would
Then
be
maybe-
the best course of action.
There is a chance that it won't be stunned. I'll say that too. So the way that the magic works is that you make the creature make a will save, and if it succeeds, it's not stunned. But if it fails, it's stunned. But you have up to 3 charges, so you could try that 3 times before you're out of magic.
Okay. Huh.
Then
So-
the winner takes it all.
So it sounds like what kind of the plan is that Seam is going to get up in this tree. I think to make it easier, maybe I'll make it like a big bush or something like that, so it's like not as super far away. But for a mouse or a snake, it would be pretty big. And then you're going to try to stun the snake, get the pips, and then do something to try to lure it towards the lake so you can all get away. Does that
Yes.
seem accurate?
Yeah. Just about.
And maybe shoot it with some arrows and things like that.
I will say that I do have my button shield ready, and out, and like probably next to Cherry Pipp in case it does strike, since Seam's up in the tree. So there's a little bit of a shield. If that helps.
Yeah. And you have like weapons and stuff like that too. So like if it comes to that, you have like things that you can do to fight this snake. I think the first thing is all of you go ahead and roll a dex save to see how quietly you can get over to where the snake is.
I got a 6.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Nice.
19.
Do you have advantage still? I might
I
still have
have 2 left, I believe.
Okay.
I think I used 1.
If you want to try to use one of those to have it be to see if you can get lower
let's
than
see
your
if I can
dex.
get closer, because I'm at 5. 12. Nope. All right.
Oh.
I'll save the last one.
So here's, I think, what happens. Seam, you're able to get up into like the bush with your bow and arrow ready, and you've got Chewy kind of buzzing around close to you. Cherry, you are able to kind of get yourself into position so that you can shoot a slingshot like over it towards the direction of the lake. You've got, I think, that in one hand, and you've got in your other hand the magic tablet, unless you don't want to, but have the magic tablet at the ready. And then I think Larkspur, you're kind of like the contingency plan. You know, you've got your shield up, you've got your sword drawn, you don't have like a specific thing you're doing. And so you start to kind of get into position, and you see this huge snake, like its breath slowly going in and out as it sleeps. And I think your mind flashes back to like this really scary experience you had before.
I lost my tail. And my
Yeah.
brother.
And I think what is going to happen, go ahead. I think you feel, you keep getting frightened. You keep kind of being like the meek one. I think in this instance, your heart is so full of like anger and fear. Go ahead and roll me a will save. Which is, I know, not the best for you.
14.
Okay. So
So,
you all watch as Larkspur seems to be filled with some sort of like righteous anger. You're all kind of in position. You're kind of getting ready for what you want to do. Larkspur draws his sword and charges forward. Go ahead and roll your, I think it's a D6 is your weapon. Light, yeah, a D6 for the light weapon. Go ahead and roll a D6 for damage as you attack this snake, kind of recklessly moving forward. 5, nice, cool. This absolutely wakes the snake up.
Oh boy.
As you
Not the
as you rush
distraction we
forward.
wanted.
But you did have, like, as maybe inadvisable as this was against your better judgment, you rush forward with this needle and get it right in between like some of its like moving like scales as it kind of moves around a little bit asleep, and do quite a bit of damage. Let me start keeping track of this.
take that, snake.
The snake's eyes open up, and immediately it kind of shoots up and looks around. You all do have this thing by surprise, so I'll give Cherry and Seam, you have a moment to react before the snake is going to be doing something. And in this game, there's not like initiative, like there's not a specific order that people go in. So go ahead, and if one of you have something that you want to do, go for it.
Okay. I don't know about you, Seam, but I would like to use one of my casts of the light spell.
Yes, cool.
See if I can give Larkspur some cover to run.
Yeah. Yeah, this formerly like pretty meek mouse runs forward.
Just had a war flashback.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let me see with spells. Okay, so you hold this tablet in your paw and start to read it out loud. You can, I said you can use this up to 3 times. You can like upcast this, but it just stuns more creatures, so you can just use one use of it.
Okay.
I mean, because you don't have more people that you want to stun.
Mhm.
And I think this one, you don't really need to roll power. Oh, actually, yeah, you do. So go ahead and roll 1d6 for me.
1d6.
And you want to get a 1, 2, or 3.
Okay. Oh gosh. Oh, that's a 4.
Okay, so all that means is you're marking a use of the spell. So
Oh, gotcha.
mark use for it.
Okay.
And I will roll a save. Okay. This snake kind of like raises itself up. What does it look like as Cherry is holding this tablet and casting the spell? Like, what do you think the spell like looks like as it's happening?
I feel like I don't know if there's any like glamour aspects to, or like personal aspects to it, to where like the spell looks different depending on the caster.
It's up to you. You can decide.
Okay. I would imagine the light spell, it's like a just like a beam of light, but they're like sparkles coming off of it. And this is a little late in the game to mention this, but Cherry is named that way. She was born under a potted cherry plant or cherry tree, and they were falling when she was born, hence the name.
Nice.
And so I and so I feel like the little sparkles look like cherry blossoms.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, this beam of energy. I think Larkspur, you're distracted. You are kind of almost in like a frenzy right now, like driving your sword into this snake.
Maybe yelling, screaming.
Yeah.
Scream.
Your little stubby tail kind of like waving around behind you. Seam, from up in the tree, you see this happen and like, okay, that's pretty surprising that Larkspur lunged forward. Like, this is not the plan.
Props.
Yeah. Props. And Cherry Pipp holds this little obsidian kind of stone in her hand, and I think you're maybe a little far away to hear what she's saying, and you see this beam of light like shoot out of this stone, and like cherry blossoms. It's the middle of winter, but you see these cherry blossoms kind of floating in the wind. And I rolled the save for this snake. And it did fail the save. It was a 50-50 chance. It had a 10.
Oh boy.
And it rolled a 15. So the snake's eyes, it's like the Jungle Book thing where like the eyes of the snake kind of, but instead of it hypnotizing you, it's hypnotized by this light. And yeah, Seam, is there anything that you want to do while you see the snake is transfixed and stunned?
I mean, why not try to stab one of its eyes out with one of my arrows, right?
Oh jeez.
Perfect.
I'm sorry if that's
No
too graphic.
business.
No. Cool.
gosh.
Let me look at your weapon. I will say, I think so. There's
Too far.
Is it D4? I thought it was more than that. Let me check. Equipment.
Attacks on enemies, I think, is D4.
It depends on the weapon. So I think
Ooh.
it's a heavy range. You're using both paws. It's actually a D8. And I'll say it's empowered because the thing that you're shooting at is stunned, which would be a D12. So go ahead and roll a D12 and hope your arrow finds its mark. It's a 9.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah,
Not the best, but it's good.
pretty hefty. Yeah. Yeah. You see kind of off to the side, Larkspur, this arrow goes shooting towards the snake. You look over in your frenzy and can see Seam up in the tree, having just let fly this arrow. And let me see how this snake is doing.
Probably the thing to snap me out of the madness, so thanks for that.
Yeah, I think yes.
Not screaming anymore.
I
It's a
think
trait
it
of
does.
madness.
Yeah, this snake, it's still alive, but not doing good. Larkspur, you kind of are snapped out of this, like, kind of mesmerized, like, reaction. What do you want to do?
Can I stab it again? Can I go in for a second stabbing or not?
Acquired a taste for violence.
Yeah,
Oh
go
my
ahead. I
God.
think that is going to be a D12 as well. I think that all empowered ones are always a D12. So go ahead and roll that.
7.
7. You guys are having pretty not bad rolls. Yeah, you drive your silver needle into the snake. And do you want to describe, not too much gory detail, but describe what it looks like as you kill off this this big snake and maybe a little bit of catharsis for you.
Well, our snakes, he would be really cold, right? Because we're still in the snow. Like, it's not like
yeah, he would be cold.
Warm. Yeah, so really cold, paws really cold as I'm like stabbing them. But yeah, no, more just flashbacks than anything, and realizing the temperature.
Yeah, you kind of are snapped out of it, as you kind of feel, you know, again, without being, you know, too gory, but you feel the blood, the cold blood of this cold-blooded creature, and like kind of are snapped out of your, you know, out of your flashback a little bit, and the snake, the heavy thud of the snake's head as it hits into a cloud of snow kind of puffs up from the grass as it falls, and you see the little bag of pips right in the center of the snake. It was wrapped around it.
Cool.
Did you do it, Larkspur?
I think we got him, guys.
Woo!
From my place up in the tree. Holy crap!
Yeah, you hear the Seam Thorn celebrating. Immediately, I think Chewy starts like buzzing around really excitedly, like flies over to the snake, flies back, and yeah, you're all able to bring your pips back home, and the centennial celebration is back on. You even took the shortcut. If you want to, you can take, you know, I think Waddlewitter will let you take the shortcut back.
we have to tell him what happened to Parmesan, right? We gotta let him know that his friends not gonna be around anymore.
Yeah. You head back to the rat hangout, and you know you've clearly seen some kind of fight. You know, you're looking a little disheveled, and Waddle sees you and says, "Hey, you back so soon? How'd it go?"
Oh my God, Mr. Waddle, we there was a drink, and we went out of the tunnel, and we.
Like she very much goes into like a small child's like rambling, just tangent about what happened.
Love it. As fast as you can.
And what about Parmesan? You find Parmesan?
We had some bad news about the big cheese.
I think at that point he maybe sees one of you has this shield.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and
I'm absolutely holding on to it.
yeah, Cherry Pipp.
Seam in the corner. Maybe we should give it to them. Let them hang it up in the bar.
I mean, I guess we could.
I very reluctantly hand it over.
Yeah, Waddle takes it very solemnly and says, I wasn't the closest to Parmesan, but, like I said, he was a good rat. I'll give this over to the bartender. This is, nobody wants the friend to get eaten by a snake. And he kind of takes the quarter over to the bartender, who I think Cherry looks over at you and gives you like a very solemn like nod, like appreciating that you gave up the shield. Maybe you should try for a drink.
Yeah. Ask him for half a pistachio or something.
Oh my God, no! The second that Seam mentions that, she's a little bit slumped because she gave away her prize sled, and she knows that she's probably not going to get another one like that.
Yeah.
Immediately, she her eyes widen and she just makes a beeline for the bar.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me a will save.
Okay. Please, God.
All right. Oh God, rolled too far. Okay, that is a 9, and my will is a 9.
I think the rat. What do you ask for as you go up to the bar?
Sir, no.
I go up and I like I like intentionally try and make my voice deeper. Sir, do you do you think that I could have like could I have some like an aged oh shoot, I don't know what a drink would pass for in these around here.
Maybe like honey? Maybe.
Oh, like some mead?
Yeah. Could I get like a drop of aged honey? Like my voice is cracking the entire time. Like it's
he looks at you kind of like a little bit like and then very slowly like reaches behind him, gets a tiny little like a little cup that's like those cups that you can get at gas stations, like the little tiny mugs with like your name on it.
oh my god, yes.
It says like it's like a little mug and it says like Peter on it. And he places it in front of you. I think turns, there's like a big like honey thing behind him, kind of pulls the tap, a big dollop of honey bloop, drops into the mug, sets it on the counter, and he says, "Just this once."
Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, thank you, sir.
Yeah, don't make me regret it. But yeah, you all head back to Cowvington. And I just have a little bit about, I gotta describe the feast. I gotta describe the celebration. That, you all really, with the money paid, the pips paid, the centennial celebration goes off like perfectly. You're all heralded as heroes. There's a spa that's in like this big felt hat, and the spa owner is like so excited that she lets you all come in for a free grooming session before the celebration. The bath is basically like a coffee like press kind of thing, and so like you can all get onto the like the press part, and then when the water starts to cool down, you're lifted up and like some hot stones are put down into the bottom, and then you're sunk back down into the warm water. You have your choice of perfume. There's all these perfumed oils like pressed rose petals, basil, rosemary. You can choose kind of what oil you want to be anointed with, so you can smell your very best at the centennial. And yeah, I'll throw this over to you. I have some foods I've come up with that I think are there. But is there something that you think your character is like particularly excited for the centennial that you want to describe as we start to wrap up?
Is it too obvious to ask if there's cheese there? Is it too obvious to
there's absolutely
go straight to the cheeses?
There's a huge wheel of a nice aged cheddar, like a human-sized wheel of cheese that I think is actually too big to even fit into the cow skull. It's like outside and the mice are like all going up and like getting big chunks of cheese. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Seam is like partial to like baked desserts with berries.
Yeah, yeah. I think
great.
there's like some flaky like raspberry pies that are made in like a bottle cap, like for the pie tin. So there's some raspberry pies. What do you think Cherry's excited for?
I think that she's not super into like heavy stuff, or she's not excited for like a hearty meal. Just because like she's technically part of the entertainment. She doesn't want to get like bogged down before she has to perform.
Yeah.
I think that, not to be too on the nose, but she's extremely partial to cherries, but she likes berries of all kind.
Yeah. I think there's some big,
so just whatever's in season.
Some big like cherry cordials, like some chocolate covered cherries where you like bite into it and there's this big cherry in the center.
Oh yes.
Yeah, definitely. There's like pasta made with acorn flour that's like covered in cheese. I think there's like these little hand pies that have like sardine hand pies. There's like some of course some alcohol. There's like some pine infused liquors, kind of like gin. There's like this plant that's kind of magically being tended to inside of the skull. And like the leaves of the plant, they're like like the leaves from Land Before Time, where like there's the water in the center, except for instead of having water in the center, it's like a very grapey wine, the kind of that the mice are kind of going over to and getting scoops out of.
Cool.
And yeah, the circus performance like is perfect. Like everything is just like as you've planned it, as you've imagined it. And yeah.
Can I pull out my bar trick?
Yeah, I'll give you
I was gonna say, does that go well?
Yeah, I'll give you a second of that. And then Sierra, you had something I think you were gonna say.
I was gonna ask if we could have a shell booth. That a new, one of the games that we learned on our adventure. We got somebody in the corner doing the shell game. So
yeah, you have a full
that's
day.
all I wanted to add.
You have like almost a full day in between like when you get home versus when this starts. So you absolutely would have time to like, maybe that's one of the things you're doing in the evening is you're manning the shell booth to like, or make some money for the town. And then yeah, I think I have to make Cherry roll a dex save.
Just in case.
Yeah. If you want to try
the end of the. I'm assuming this is like we're wrapping up the one shot.
Yeah.
I have 3 points of inspiration. Oh my lord! I am going to win. I'm going to succeed.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Right. This is a dex save.
Yeah, dex.
Okay. I didn't even need to use it because that's a 7.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
so you redeem yourself. You make your way over to like there's a bar. I think Seam Chewy kind of like buzzes by you frantically to like get your attention. You look over and see Cherry is like climbing up onto a bar, like bouncing on her tail. But this time, she manages. She's had a little practice. She is a very dexterous mouse. Picks up these plates and just starts juggling them, and it does look pretty cool. If this would have worked before, it would have been pretty cool.
Beautiful. Show-stopping.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, that wraps up what I have. I know we went a little bit later than I was planning to, so apologies for that. It's hard to judge exactly when stuff is gonna wrap up like this. But before we finish up, if you all want to, first of all, thank you all so much. If you've got the aw yeah emote, go ahead and everybody spam the aw yeah as a thank you for our players tonight. I'll do that. Oh yeah. And I'll go ahead and give them a shout out too in the chat. Go ahead and give these lovely people a follow. And yeah, before we finish up, if I guess we'll start back to starting with Vanessa. If you want to, just if people are just catching the end,
What?
shout out your channel, shout out what you do.
Okay. Wait, I'm doing the thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Galaxy Wanderer X, aka Vanessa. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play the video games, whether that be first-person shooters to horror games to games like Stardew Valley. And yes, I have a good time doing it. Oh, I also play dating sims because I'm a professional SIMP. But
Yeah.
I hope you have enjoyed your time here with us today, and I'm gonna pass it on to my next homie. Onwards.
Yeah, Sierra.
So I'm Sierra, Super Silly Sierra on the internet. I'm on YouTube and Twitch doing comic reviews and recommendations. So if you need something to read, come ask me. I'm available on anything. Seriously, Instagram, Twitter, DM me. Figure it out. I don't know. Let's get together. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate Taylor having us on. So
Yeah, thank you.
that's all I got.
Thank you for joining. And then Goblin.
All right. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. I can't wait to hopefully be invited back to do this again.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have Goblin, cat when I'm not on the internet. I stream whatever I want, essentially. I do a lot of video games, a lot of single player games. I'm currently working through a Hades playthrough, and it's rightfully kicking my ass. Oh gosh, I have all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it is. Come hang out, and you can laugh at my goofy drawings with me. That's kind of all I have. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys there, and I look forward to seeing you guys in Taylor's chat.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining. This was so much fun. Any of you are welcome to come back on again for future streams. If you're not, if this wasn't too much, I know it's a lot to jump into. And then for anybody who's just joining us tonight, my name is Taylor, aka Roll for Felicity. I do a lot of one-shots, stuff like that. And I try to prioritize having like marginalized people on my stream. So like basically, not that I have anything against them, but people who aren't straight white men don't have a lot of representation in like a lot of like tabletop stuff, nerd stuff. So if you enjoyed this stream, you're more than welcome to check out future stuff. I also stream some video games like on nights when I'm not doing one-shots. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and we're going to rate. I just was searching the tabletop, like people who are alive right now doing tabletop games. And I chose this person because they're doing some sort of like comic book based tabletop game. So we're going to go ahead and raid Critical Misses. If you come along for the raid, you get channel points for my channel. And then also you can maybe be exposed to somebody doing something cool. I am going to go ahead and raid now. So thank you so much everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.